Chapter 565, Chapter 302, Semi-Saint's Gift, New Beginnings and Farewells /. No wonder he dared to run over from the monster wooden domain alone, the beast master uttered, then suddenly smacked his own head with annoyance. I forgot to ask him what the situation is like over there now. This is a major event affecting the entire number 47 beast field, and I happen to meet someone involved, yet I actually forgot to ask. Mr. Su, your migration procedures have been completed, and the points and deposits on your Beastmaster account can be used within Bright Radiant City, the staff member said with a polite smile. Besides that, there's one more thing. Vice President Liu from our Bright Radiant City would like to have a few words with you. Vice President Liu, taking the procedure certificate from the staff member, Su Ran showed a puzzled expression on his face. It's my first time in Bright Radiant City. I shouldn't be acquainted with this Vice President Liu, should I? Indeed, you don't, but you come from Monster Wooden City, and yesterday in Monster Wooden City. The staff member did not continue but gave Su Ran a you-know-what-I-mean look. Su Ran understood. Was the other party curious, and wanting to contact him to find out about the situation in the Monster Wooden domain? No problem, Su Ran smiled. Just arriving in a new city, one must build good relationships with the bigwigs of the Beast Master Association. This way, his own branch shops might receive some conveniences. Of course, he would only talk as an observer about things he could actually discuss. Soon, under the guidance of this staff member, Su Ran met that Vice President Liu. The man was burly and seemed to have an air of a Jianghu bandit about him. As the staff member introduced, Vice President Liu's full name was Liu Quang. His contract power had reached the 6th stage, but it was a pity that he had not managed to evolve a pet beast into the Emperor species. Therefore, he had contracted 6 King stage pet beasts, making him stronger than a King-level Beastmaster, but not as much as an Overlord-level Beastmaster. He ranked 3rd in power in Bright Radiant City. The top 2 were Overlord-level Beastmasters. Upon meeting Su Ran, Liu Quang did not put on airs as the Vice President or a high-ranking senior. He started chatting casually with Su Ran, which made Su Ran feel more fondness for this Beastmaster. Sure enough, he told Liu Quang everything he could. Tusk, it's just a pity I couldn't witness it with my own eyes. Liu Quang's face showed a bit of longing. To see the evolution process of an Emperor species into a Saint Spirit race with one's own eyes would already be an incredible opportunity. So, young brother Su, why didn't you just stay peacefully in the Monster Wooden domain and instead run off to our Bright Radiant City? Liu Quang lifted his big hand and patted Su Ran's shoulder. With the sky-touching mysterious wood becoming a demon wood semi-saint, it will surely look after the creatures of the Monster Wooden domain more. I think your strength is not weak, and you are so young, you should seize that opportunity. Well, Su Ran smiled. Actually, my main job is running a foster shop. Oh, running a foster shop, huh? Wait, what? Liu Quang's eyes bulged. You, a foster shop owner? Su Ran looked to be under 30, yet he was already a general stage beast master, and the strength of his 3 pet beasts seemed quite formidable. Such potential in their Bright Radiant City could already crush countless peer beast masters. And you're telling me you are a businessman running a foster shop? Yes, that's right. Su Ran puffed out his chest and sat up straight. My foster care shop is called Starfear Foster, and I have already opened branches in 3 cities. I have come to Bright Radiant City this time to open the 4th branch here. Hold on a minute, my brain is a bit muddled. Liu Quang rubbed his forehead. Opening a branch. You really are a businessman, aren't you? To leave behind such talent and opportunity, and come all the way to Bright Radiant City just to open another branch. Should I admire your dedication, or think you're being reckless? Forget it, Liu Quang shook his head. Here in Bright Radiant City, the competition in the foster industry is pretty fierce. Have you picked a good location for your shop, young brother Su? As he asked the question, Liu Quang glanced at Su Ran's expression and his lips twitched slightly. It seems not. Could you recommend one to me, elder brother Liu? Su Ran took the opportunity to climb up the social ladder, showing a warm smile. Chapter 566, 303, Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition. Chapter 566, Chapter 303, Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition. Creak tilde. Accompanied by a slight creak, the classic doors open a crack. After seeing who was outside, the doors of Dawn Building No one were slowly opened. though the face of the person inside clearly displayed impatience, bringing people to see the building again. "Mr. Zhao, we meet again. Let me introduce him." Zhang Li's face wore a smile that was not at all affected by the other's impatience. "This is Mr. Su Ran, the beast master from Demon Wood City, who has come from far away." After introducing Su Ran, she naturally turned to look at him. "This is Mr. Zhao Heyer, the owner of Dawn Building No One." "Mr. Zhao, hello." Su Ran greeted with a polite smile. "I am interested in purchasing Dawn Building No One, but I've heard from Ms. Zhao that this is not such a simple matter." "It seems you've already heard." Zhao Heyer's expression cleared slightly. "My building is for sale only to the person I want to sell it to. Otherwise, no matter how much they offer, I will not sell." "What kind of person would Mr. Zhao consider selling to then?" Su Ran asked with a smile. "Could you be more specific?" "That I can do." Seemingly appreciative of Su Ran's attitude, Zhao Heyer's face softened further. "The person who buys Dawn Building No One must meet two conditions. My Dawn Building No One, you could say, has the best storefront location on Bright Avenue, bar none. So, the first condition is that the buyer must be undisputedly the best in the field they intend to operate in, to match the prestige of my Dawn Building No One. This is the main reason why no one has been able to buy Dawn Building No One in the past few months," Zhang Li explained softly. "Those who want to purchase the building mostly aim to use the geographic advantage of Dawn Building No One to further their business. Those who are undisputedly the best in their field are very cautious about changing their store's location, as they already have a customer base." "I see," Su Ran said, a look of realization crossing his face. Indeed, operators that had achieved the #1 spot in their industry would not easily change their store's location, as this could lead to the loss of existing customers. However, buying Dawn Building No One and using its geographical advantage to open a branch should not be difficult for other operators, right? At this thought, a hint of confusion appeared in Su Ran's eyes. And in the next moment, Zhao Heyer's words resolved all his doubts. "The second condition," Zhao Heyer spoke slowly, "the operator who buys Dawn Building No One can only run it as the exclusive store in Bright Radiant City and cannot open branches." Su Ran. That condition was rather stringent. "Mr. Zhao is an architectural designer, not only the owner but also the designer of Dawn Building No One." Zhang Li smiled helplessly, explaining gently, "In Mr. Zhao's heart, Dawn Building No One is like his child." "Exactly," nodded Zhao Heyer in agreement. "Young man, you should be able to understand the feeling of wanting to entrust one's child to a suitable person, right?" "When you put it that way, I can understand it somewhat," Su Ran nodded after stroking his chin. "Isn't this just like a father-in-law who hopes his future son-in-law is outstanding, yet doesn't want him to be a scoundrel?" While such a mindset in this context might seem odd, after putting himself in the other's shoes, Su Ran chose to respect it. "Mr. Zhao, I can satisfy your second condition," Su Ran slowly spoke up. "I won't hide from you that my intention to buy Dawn Building No One is to operate a foster shop. Although I have stores in other cities, I can assure you that there will only be one store in Bright Radiant City." Zhao Heyer was silent for a moment. "You meet the second condition." "As for the first condition," Su Ran's voice paused slightly, "I am quite confident in becoming the first in the foster industry of Bright Radiant City, but how can I prove this point having just arrived in the city? If it were any other industry, you indeed wouldn't be able to prove it, nor would you qualify to buy my store." Zhao Heyer glanced at Su Ran. "But in the foster industry, there just happens to be an opportunity that could prove it right now." Oh, a look of curiosity appeared on Su Ran's face. "What opportunity?" "Mr. Zhao is probably referring to our Bright Radiant City's triennial pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition." Zhang Li chimed in with a smile. "Actually, I had planned to tell you about this after helping Mr. Su secure the shop." Su Ran's eyes lit up instantly. The cleaning and caring exhibition sounded like it would be similar to the open-air cleaning and caring event held in Monster Wooden City. The previous open-air event brought a surge of customers to Starfare Foster Care Shop, allowing Starfare Foster Care Shop to meet its 50% fame requirement in a short time. If he could replicate the process of skyrocketing fame in Bright Radiant City through a similar event, it would be wonderful for Su Ran. Su Ran, of course, had not forgotten why he had come to Bright Radiant City. Opening a shop there was only secondary. The most important task was to guard the extinct Thunder attraction. By meeting the fame requirement as quickly as possible, he could soon summon the 3 system clerks to take over the management of the shop in bright, radiant city. Then he could be a hands-off store owner, lying back to collect income from 4 shops while preparing with his 3 little ones for fighting over the extinct thunder attraction. Chapter 567, 303, Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition. Chapter 567, Chapter 303, Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition, /. So the top priority is to raise the fame of Starfair Foster Care Shop. Ms. Zhang, could you elaborate? No problem. Zhang Li smiled. Washing and protection isn't just about improving appearances. It's also an important way to maintain a pet beast's state and physical functions. So the Beast Master Association of Bright Radiant City encourages the emergence of more talent in the washing and protection field. The Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition is an event created for this purpose. Caretakers skilled in cleaning and caring for pet beasts can register to participate, and during the 2-day exhibition, they will attend to the pet beasts that come for washing and protection. At the end of the exhibition, the association will award a Cleaning Saint title and a prize based on the positive feedback received from the washing and protection of the pet beasts. The Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition is held once every 3 years, and the next one will take place in 3 days. You can register at any time before it starts. Zhang Li smiled at Su Ran. Mr. Su, your timing couldn't be better. If you can get the title of Cleaning Saint, you might be worthy of my dawn building no one. Zhao Heier folded his arms and spoke emotionlessly. From his eyes, it was clear he held no hope for this. Is that so? Su Ran smiled. Then I might as well give it a try. After listening to Zhang Li's introduction to the Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition, he was determined. He simply had to participate in this event. Mr. Zhao, I've imposed on you long enough today. I'll take my leave now. Su Ran stood up, bowed to Zhao Heier, and turned to leave dawn building no one. Zhang Li followed him out, smiling. Mr. Su, would you like me to show you some other shops for sale? Sure. Su Ran didn't refuse, and followed Zhang Li to look at other available shops. But having seen the finest with dawn building no one, all other shops seemed to lack that certain something for Su Ran. After looking around, not only had Su Ran not given up, but he wanted dawn building no one even more. If he could get the title of Cleaning Saint at the exhibition and have the advantage of the shop's location, he could become a hands-off shopkeeper in no more than a week. Do you understand the value of being a hands-off shopkeeper? Ahoy! It seems Mr. Su still prefers dawn building no one. Zhang Li pursed her lips with a smile, showing an I knew it expression. If so, then I wish Mr. Su good luck in the Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition. I really have to try hard. Su Ran smiled and waved goodbye to Zhang Li, then turned to look at the 3 little ones following him. Let's settle the shop matter first, and next we'll focus all our efforts on competing for the extinct thunder attraction. Meow, no problem. Xian waved its claw, appearing full of enthusiasm. It would be helpful in washing and protection too. The extinct thunder attraction has been dormant in Fallen Thunder Valley for so long. A few more days won't make a difference. And Xian had a premonition. When the extinct thunder attraction was about to appear, it might perceive it instinctively. Because the power of the extinct thunder attraction and the black power that merged with it after it performed divine punishment had a slight similarity, there might be some resonance between the two. With Xian expressing this, Star and Kankan naturally had no objection. Next, we'll find a hotel in Bright Radiant City to stay temporarily for 2 days. When the Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition starts, we'll also get familiar with Bright Radiant City's environment, said Su Ran, stretching languidly and pointing to a hotel not far away. That hotel looks good, let's check it out. Time passed and 2 days went by. In those 2 days, Su Ran and the 3 little ones enjoyed a rare period of calm after the catastrophe in the monster wooden domain. The emotional roller coaster from witnessing the evolution of the sky-touching mysterious wood had also stabilized quite a bit due to the new experiences in Bright Radiant City during that time. And the first battle of Starfair Foster Care Shop in Bright Radiant City was about to begin. On the first day of the Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition, Su Ran, who had already completed the registration in advance, appeared at the event site with the 3 little ones. It was a vast open space where 100 enclosed washing and protection rooms had been temporarily built, each able to accommodate large pet beasts for washing and protection. Caretakers who registered for the exhibition would draw lots to choose their respective washing and protection rooms. Over the next 2 days, they would serve the beast masters and their pet beasts from all over Bright Radiant City. The washing and protection were free, with the Beast Master Association footing the bill for the resources used during the process. It wasn't just a stage for the talent in washing and protection, but also a small benefit that the Beast Master Association offered to all beast masters in Bright Radiant City. "Hello, I'm Sue Ran, here to register for the exhibition." Approaching the staff of the organizers, Sue Ran presented his registration proof. "When does the draw for selecting the washing and protection room start?" "The drawing is done on a first-come, first-served basis. Please come this way." Quickly, the staff member led Sue Ran to the drawing area. "Chop, let me draw." Can raised one paw, volunteering spiritedly. "Let the king of dragon turtles, who controls good fortune, draw the best grooming room on the field." "All right, you do it." Seeing Can so excited, Sue Ran smiled and stepped aside. Can walked up confidently, reached a paw into the draw box to feel around, and then pulled out a sealed metal cylinder. The staff took the metal cylinder, skillfully opened it, and pulled out a rolled-up blueprint, which they spread out to display. It was a map of all the cleaning and caring rooms at the Pet Beast exhibition, but one of the rooms was colored strikingly red, unlike the others. That was the room that Can had drawn for Sue Ran. Upon seeing that location, Can's face, previously full of pride and confidence, instantly fell. Because that location was not only secluded, but also far from the entrance to the exhibit area. Even without much understanding of the business, Can could tell it wasn't a good spot. "Chatilda, darn it, my luck has run out for today." The head that had been held high slowly drooped, and its expression immediately wilted. "It's all right," Sue Ran chuckled and patted Can's head to comfort it. Sue Ran had not expected Can's luck to be so bad. In such an exhibition, the results of washing and protection were clear to see. The strength and weaknesses could easily be judged even by laymen, and the quality of the grooming room's location would only have a temporary effect. It wasn't a big problem. I will work hard to attract customers." Can took a deep breath and let out a loud shout. If luck wasn't helpful, then it would have to rely on hard work. "You keep it up," Sue Ran said with a smile. Hopefully, Can wouldn't cause any trouble this time. Taking the indicator map of the drawn grooming room, Sue Ran left with the 3 little ones and soon arrived in front of his assigned grooming room. At the entrance of the empty grooming room was a blank white signboard with ink and brushes, available for the caretakers participating in the exhibition to write the name of their grooming room for easy identification and distinction. After dipping the brush in ink, Sue Ran wrote "Starfare Foster Care Shop" without hesitation. He stepped back 2 paces to view the overall effect and then nodded in satisfaction. "Starfare Foster Care Shop." A curious voice suddenly came from not far away, as a middle-aged man walked out from the neighboring grooming room, his face bearing a questioning look. "Young man, you seem somewhat unfamiliar, eh?" "Hello, uncle." Sue Ran smiled and nodded in greeting. "I haven't been in Bright Radiant City for long." "Ah, I see." The middle-aged man nodded in understanding. "So this Starfare Foster Care Shop is where you work. How come I've never heard of it?" "Well, this is the shop I'm planning to open," Sue Ran said with a shy smile. Middle-aged man. "So it hasn't opened yet." The middle-aged man's expression relaxed slightly for a moment. Having drawn a poor lottery position, he no longer held much hope for a good result in this grooming exhibition. If a strong competitor emerged next door, his chances would dwindle even further. Therefore, upon noticing Sue Ran, the new neighbor, the middle-aged man promptly came over to gather information. While Sue Ran was young, in Bright Radiant City there were caretakers even younger than him with astoundingly good washing and protection skills. There was no guarantee that this young man wasn't a dark horse in hiding. But having heard about Sue Ran's background, the middle-aged man felt relieved. From out of town, no shopfront yet. He wasn't boasting, but there wasn't a single city nearby that could match Bright Radiant City in overall cleaning and caring standards. After all, cities that valued washing and protection services as much as Bright Radiant City did and cultivated such talent were few and far between. So it was unlikely that this young man could pose much of a threat. "Young man, I have good expectations for you." Thinking this, the middle-aged man slapped Sue Ran's shoulder with a chuckle. "Drawing adjacent grooming rooms must be fate. Let's look out for each other in the next 2 days, shall we? Sure, Suran replied with a smile. The piers in bright radiant city were indeed hospitable. Chapter 568, 304, A New Lucky Fish. Chapter 568, Chapter 304, A New Lucky Fish. Boss Su, I have tried many washing and protection services for my Leoli stone dragon, but yours is the best I have ever seen. A beast master excitedly hugged a pretty lizard with glaze-colored scales all over its body. It's just a shame that the washing exhibit only lasts for 2 days. No worries, after the exhibit, my foster shop will officially start operating. Feel free to drop by any time, Suran said with a smile, pointing at the 5 big characters on the door of the washing room. The washing environment in the store is even better, and the results will be even better. Starfair Foster Care Shop, right? I'll remember that. I'll definitely come here in the future. The beast master nodded seriously and then turned to leave with his pet beast. Take care, Tilda, waving at the departing guest. Suran's smile grew even richer. After waiting for so long, he had finally opened for business. The guest who had just left was the first one to choose his services during the exhibit. To establish his reputation, he had washed the Leoli stone dragon with extraordinary care and effort, almost giving it a feel of a different race. Clearly, the guest was very satisfied with the washing result. A 0 breakthrough had been achieved. Things should only get better from now on. As for the second customer, hello, I wonder if there are any restrictions on the washing services here. Well, here comes one. Suran turned to look at the girl who had spoken. She was a girl with long hair that reached her waist, dressed in a long dress and looked quiet and demure. At the moment, her eyes were full of curiosity as she looked at him and his washing room. Restrictions? Suran stroked his chin. Due to the space constraints of this facility, we can't wash super large-sized pet beasts, and those at the Overlord or Emperor stage are beyond my service range. Then there's no problem. The girl's face lit up with a smile. Behind her, a hexagram star array flickered, and a fox with long red fur all over its body stepped out amidst the wind raised by the surging energy, then lightly leaped into the girl's arms. Huh, Suran raised his eyebrows slightly. At first, he thought it was a flame fox, which reminded him of an old friend in Kingju City, but upon closer examination, he realized this pet beast was quite distinct from a flame fox. Its long red fur was not entirely red, but rather showed a gradient from the roots to the tips, giving it a layered look reminiscent of a splendid sunset, breathtakingly beautiful. Another difference from the flame fox was that it had 6 long, large tails that swayed flexibly behind it, adding a touch of charm and dignity. Fire attribute leader species, rosy flame demon fox. After a moment of searching his memory, Suran matched it with its corresponding race. As a fire attribute leader species just like the flame fox, the rosy flame demon fox was much rarer and more sought after since it not only possessed 4 2-star skills of a top leader species, but was also one of the few with a clear evolutionary path from early on. It could evolve into a fire attribute king species, the Ju Xuan flame fox. Can you wash my Xiaolu for me? Holding the rosy flame demon fox up to Suran, Chu Yue asked with anticipation. She had been prepared to go to Liu Kang at Green Cloud Pet Foster Care Shop for washing, but after seeing the Leoli stone dragon, it only took her a second to change her decision. She had a hunch that this unfamiliar young man and his unfamiliar foster shop might provide her with a pleasant surprise. Of course, not a problem, Suran said with a smile as he took over the Rosy Flame Demon Fox. Race name, Rosy Flame Demon Fox. Attribute, Fire. Growth step, Elite Stage. Body type, small size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. A lucky little fellow, it's been well cared for by its beast master, but there are some hidden impurities deep within that aren't easily remedied by simple grooming. Host, make your move. Maybe there are other unexpected gains waiting for you. Giving a glance at the system's evaluation, Suran's eyes moved slightly. Unexpected gains. For the system to give such an assessment, perhaps this rosy flame demon fox had some special qualities that he had yet to discover. Please come in. Inviting Chu Yue into the washing room, Suran quickly set the rosy flame demon fox down on the washing platform and started preparing for the washing process. Xian, who was in sync with Suran, needed only a look from him to understand the resources he needed, and brought them swiftly like a shadow. Meanwhile, Star stood quietly by, waiting to infuse Su Ran with more power when he felt weary. Chu Yue casually found a seat and sat down, her eyes filled with unexpected colors as she watched the preparatory process of the man and his two pets. Quite novel indeed. This wasn't her first time observing a caretaker's washing process, but it was her first time seeing a pet beast acting as an assistant during the process. After all, many caretakers themselves weren't very strong, and strong beast masters wouldn't be willing to engage in this profession, providing services for other people's pet beasts. But it seemed that this young man was an exception. He was not only a beast master, but he was also quite strong. There were two pet beasts inside the washing room and one guarding the door outside, indicating that he had to be at least a leadership-level beast master. Thinking that she was an elite-level beast master, but having a leadership-level beast master washing her pet beast felt somewhat unusual. As she idly pondered, a smile unwittingly formed at the corners of Chu Yue's mouth. Chapter 569, 304, A New Lucky Fish. Chapter 569, Chapter 304, A New Lucky Fish /. On the other side, Su Ran had already swiftly prepared everything necessary for the bathing and care. He adjusted the water temperature and quickly picked up the showerhead, walking up close to the rosy flame demon fox. Using the palm of his other hand to block the stream of water spraying from the showerhead, he let the warm, cleansing liquid gently soak the fur of the rosy flame demon fox through the cushioning of his palm. Being of the fire attribute, pet beasts naturally resist water, so this silently nourishing method was able to minimize their inner repulsion to the greatest extent. Of course, the secret weapon that made fire pet beasts fall in love with washing and caring were the various nourishing fire element resources blended into the bath liquid. Feeling the soft flow of water saturate all its fur, sticking to its body like a warm embrace, the rosy flame demon fox's eyes, hued like the dawn, gleamed with extra satisfaction. It couldn't help but wriggle its body, emitting a slightly enchanting sound. Ying tilde. It seems the cries of fox-like pet beasts are all quite similar. Su Ran glanced at the rosy flame demon fox, and a hint of amusement appeared in his eyes. In front of him, a prompt notifying him of the received pleasure value from the rosy flame demon fox had just appeared. Next, it was time to exhibit his expertise. Su Ran gently placed his hands on the fully dampened fur of the rosy flame demon fox, and then spread his fingers, placing them on different parts of its body, to begin a deep, gentle, yet effective kneading. Under Su Ran's professional manipulation, the power circulating within the rosy flame demon fox began to accelerate the absorption of the bath liquid's nourishing components. The rosy flame demon fox, this novel sensation was equally thrilling. Su Ran's every finger penetrated deeply into its skin, touching each point and leading to every hair follicle. The meticulous and thorough kneading made every inch of the rosy flame demon fox's body shiver in exhilaration. Like fine currents of electricity continuously coursing through it, its slender body involuntarily began to quiver slightly, and its dawn-colored eyes grew even more hazy and transfixed. As the intensity of Su Ran's technique grew, the rosy flame demon fox's body trembled more noticeably. The misty sense of enchantment in its eyes brimmed and looked as though it could overflow at any moment. The expression on the rosy flame demon fox became increasingly peculiar, as if it were struggling to contain something, yet the more it tried to hold back, the less it seemed able to do so. Finally, a long-repressed, winding and deep moan escaped from its throat, tinged with a touch of bashfulness. Ying tilde. Watching her pet beast behave so strangely throughout the process, Chu Yue, who had been watching the entire time, saw her initial amusement stiffen on her face. She even felt somewhat like she was sitting on pins and needles at the moment. Watching the young man wash and care for her pet beast, Chu Yue actually felt like she was observing something scandalous. Such things should never be discovered by others, yet here she was watching it happen right before this human and beast duo, which made her feel an urge to leave the place. And considering one of the parties was her pet beast, her feelings became even more complicated. The washing and care service here is just too weird. Chu Yue sighed internally, suddenly feeling like she was on the wrong boat. Ying tilde. Another cry, even stronger and more peculiar than before, echoed through the grooming room, and Chu Yue couldn't help but cover her eyes with her hands to avoid watching. But a few seconds later, the gaps between her fingers stealthily widened, revealing her large eyes. "I'm just concerned about my own pet beast." Right, that's it. Woo woo woo. With a hum of the hairdryer, Sue Ran completely dried the last inch of the rosy flame demon fox's fur, and after a simple combing, he smiled and said, "It's finished." Ying tilde tilde. The rosy flame demon fox slowly stood up from the grooming table, shook its body vigorously, making its fur, which shimmered like glints of light and became even fluffier, appear as sleek as a clump of evening clouds descending to earth, stunningly beautiful. Its eyes still retained a hint of haziness and longing, but as it gradually came back to its senses, it too knew its grooming session was over. It jumped down lightly to the ground, then trotted over to Chu Yue's side. Chu Yue bent down and carefully hugged her pet beast, afraid that any careless movement would mar the impeccable style. Awe filled her eyes, and the odd feelings from the grooming process were now completely pushed out of her mind. Indeed, her intuition was right. Chu Yue had taken her pet to many foster shops for cleaning and care, but even the best of them could not bring her rosy flame demon fox to the condition it was at now. This unfamiliar young caretaker had given her a marvelous surprise. On the other hand, Su Ran was also checking the rewards of his work. Normally, when grooming a leader species pet beast at elite stage, he wouldn't bother to check the gain. Because now, as a B-level plucking fur, obtaining 2-star skills was almost guaranteed, and 2-star skills had little significance for the 3 small ones and could simply be broken down into skill fragments to be done with it. However, the phrase the system had provided, after scanning the rosy flame demon fox, had piqued his interest. And upon checking, he truly found some unusual aspects. Under the Pet Beast Skills section, there were 3 new skills. Flame Blossom, untransmittable. Burning Flame Slash, untransmittable. Chapter 570-304, A New Lucky Fish. Chapter 570, Chapter 304, A New Lucky Fish / Rock Needle. The skills he had obtained before had already been cleared and decomposed by him, so these 3 skills could only originate from today's cleaning and care. Rock Needle must have been the Earth attribute skill, obtained from the previous grooming of the Leoli Stone Dragon. And the remaining 2 Fire attribute skills. Su Ran's gaze couldn't help but drift toward the rosy flame demon fox cradled in Chu Yue's arms. Gain 2 skills from a single session of plucking fur. The system's plucking fur effect is that, after use, there is a probability of obtaining the target pet beast skill, with the probability changing along with the pet beast skill star level and the system skills level. It does not state that only one pet beast skill can be obtained, which means it is indeed possible to gain multiple pet beast skills from one plucking fur session. However, Su Ran had only discovered this for the first time since obtaining the skill. Even though it might have happened before without his notice, it was without a doubt that the probability was extremely rare and uncommon. Could this be the unexpected gain the system mentioned? But one more 2-star skill for him was merely 4 more skill fragments, which was just a drop in the bucket for his 3 small pet beasts. Wasn't such a gain too meager? "Hello, please help me with the grooming of my other pet beast." Chu Yue's voice interrupted Su Ran's thoughts. Watching Chu Yue, who had already summoned her second pet beast, Su Ran quickly snapped back to reality and showed an enthusiastic smile. "No problem." Chu Yue's second pet beast was a vitality dog. It was a small-sized dog-type pet beast with a super ability attribute, covered in short white curls, very similar in appearance to the Bichun Fries, lively and astute, and also had 4 powerful 2-star skills in the direction of telekinesis, also a pet beast with great potential. From the choice of her 2 pet beasts, one could see Chu Yue's preference for their appearances when selecting her beasts. And Chu Yue indeed took great care of her 2 pet beasts. The washing and protection requirement for the vitality dog was still only 2 stars. However, race name Vitality Dog. Attribute Super Ability Attribute. Growth Step Elite Stage. Body Type Small Size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. A lucky little fellow, it's been well cared for by its own beast master, but some hidden deep-seated dirt can't be simply dealt with by grooming. Host, please take action. Perhaps there will be other unexpected gains, huh? Seeing the system's assessment word for word, Su Ran fell into contemplation. "What's the matter?" Seeing Su Ran motionless, Chu Yue curiously inquired. "Nothing much." Su Ran took a deep look at Chu Yue. Belonging to the same fire attribute leader species as the flame fox, the rosy flame demon fox was much more sought after and rare, because it was not only a top-rated leader species with 4 2-star skills, but also one of the few breeds with a clear evolutionary path available early on. It could evolve into the fire attribute king species, the Jiuxuan flame fox. "Can you groom my little six?" Holding the rosy flame demon fox in her arms and lifting it to Su Ran, Chu Yue asked expectantly. Originally planning to go to Liu Kang at Green Cloud Pet Foster Care Shop, next door for grooming, after seeing the Liulai Stone Dragon, it took her only a second to decide to make a different choice. She had an intuition that this unfamiliar young man and his unfamiliar foster shop might bring her a surprise. "Of course, there's no problem," Su Ran said with a smile as he took the Rosy Flame Demon Fox from her. Race name, Rosy Flame Demon Fox. Attribute, Fire Attribute. Growth stage, Elite stage. Body type, small size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. A lucky little fellow, it's been well cared for by its own beast master, but some hidden deep-seated dirt can't be simply dealt with by grooming. Host, please take action. Perhaps there will be other unexpected gains, huh? Emma? Glancing casually at the evaluation given by the system, Su Ran's expression shifted slightly. Unexpected gains. For the system to give such an assessment, there must be some special aspects of the Rosy Flame Demon Fox that he had not yet discovered. "Please come in." Inviting Chu Yue to enter the grooming room with him, Su Ran quickly placed the Rosy Flame Demon Fox gently on the grooming table and then turned to start preparing for the grooming session. Xian, who was in tune with Su Ran's intent, needed only a glance from him to understand what resources he needed and swiftly gathered and delivered them like a fleeting shadow. Meanwhile, Star stood quietly to the side, waiting to infuse Su Ran with more power when he grew tired. Chu Yue casually took a seat, looking at the preparations of the one man and 2 beasts in surprise. It was indeed novel. It wasn't her first time witnessing a grooming process by a caretaker, but it was the first time she saw pet beasts acting as assistants during grooming. After all, many groomers themselves didn't have great strength, and those beast masters with strength wouldn't be inclined to engage in this profession, serving other people's pet beasts. And the young man before her seemed to be an exception. Not only was he a beast master, but also his strength was not weak. With 2 pet beasts inside the grooming room and 1 guarding outside, it indicated that he was at least a beast master of the leadership level. Realizing that she herself was only an elite-level beast master, yet having her pet beasts groomed by a leadership-level beast master felt somewhat strange. Lost in her thoughts, a hint of a smile crept onto Chu Yue's face without her noticing. On the other side, Su Ran had also efficiently completed the preparations needed for the grooming. Adjusting the water temperature, he quickly took the shower head, blocked the spray with the palm of his other hand, and allowed the warm grooming solution to wet the fur of the Rosy Flame Demon Fox in the gentlest way possible through the buffer of his palm. Chapter 571, 304, A New Lucky Fish. Chapter 571, Chapter 304, A New Lucky Fish / Fire pet beasts naturally resistance to water, so this silent and gentle moisturizing method could reduce their resistance to the greatest extent. Of course, the most important thing was the variety of nourishing fire element resources blended into the bath liquid, which were the secret weapons that made fire pet beasts fall in love with cleaning and caring. Feeling the gentle flow of water saturate its fur, making the fur cling to its body as if being embraced by warmth, the Rosy Flame Demon Fox's eyes colored like the dawn became more contented. It couldn't help twisting its body, making a slightly enchanting sound. Ying tilde. It seemed that the cries of fox-type pet beasts were quite similar. Su Ran glanced at the Rosy Flame Demon Fox, and a smile appeared in his eyes. Before him, the prompt of pleasure value from the Rosy Flame Demon Fox's accounts had appeared. Next, it was time to show off his technique. Su Ran placed his hands lightly on the Rosy Flame Demon Fox's thoroughly wet fur, then spread his fingers and pressed them onto different parts of the fox's body, starting to massage deeply with a soft yet effective force. Under Su Ran's professional stimulation, the power circulating within the Rosy Flame Demon Fox started to absorb the nourishing components of the bath liquid faster. For the Rosy Flame Demon Fox, this novel sensation was stimulating as well. Each of Su Ran's fingers penetrated deep into its skin, pulling at every hair follicle from points to planes. The thorough massage made every inch of the Rosy Flame Demon Fox's body shudder with joy. Like a continuous delicate current roaming through its body, its lithe form began to quiver unconsciously, and those dawn-colored eyes grew more hazy and distant. As Suran increased the intensity of his technique, the trembling of the rosy flame demon fox's body grew more obvious, a misty bewilderment overflowing in its eyes as though it might spill out at any moment. The expression of the rosy flame demon fox became more and more abnormal, as if it was struggling to restrain something, but the more it tried to hold back, the less it could do so. In the end, a repressed low moan that had been held back for a long time emerged from its throat, mixed with a hint of embarrassment. Ying tilde tilde. Watching her own pet beast act so bizarrely, Chu Yue, who had been observing the entire process, had her smile frozen on her face earlier and even felt pins and needles at this moment. Watching the youth clean and care for her own pet beast, Chu Yue felt as if she were witnessing something shameful. Such things should never be seen by others, but there she was, watching in the presence of the youth and her pet beast, which made her feel the need to leave the place in embarrassment. And considering one of them was her own pet, her feelings became even more complex. Isn't the cleaning and caring here too strange? Chu Yue let out a sigh in her heart, suddenly feeling as if she had boarded a bandit's ship. Ying tilde tilde tilde. Another sound, even stronger and more peculiar than before, echoed in the cleaning room, and Chu Yue couldn't help covering her eyes with both hands, not wanting to see. But in a few seconds her fingers slightly parted, revealing her wide-open eyes. I'm just concerned about my own pet beast. Yes, that's right. Will. With the buzzing sound of the hairdryer, Suran completely dried the rosy flame demon fox's fur down to its last inch, combed it out simply, and spoke with a smile. It's finished. Ying tilde tilde. The rosy flame demon fox slowly stood up from the cleaning table, violently shook its body, causing each hair to become incredibly soft and fluffy. As if glowing, its hair had become more voluminous, creating a silky vision like a sunset descending upon the mortal world. Absolutely stunning. Its eyes still held a hint of haziness and longing, but gradually regaining its senses, it knew its cleaning was over. With a graceful leap, it landed on the ground, and then trotted over to Chu Yue's side. Chu Yue bent down, carefully holding her pet beast, afraid to even move in case she ruined the flawless groom. Astonishment filled her eyes. The strange sensation during the cleaning process was now completely out of her mind. Indeed, her instincts were right. Chu Yue had taken her own pet beast for cleaning and caring at many foster shops, and even the best of them could definitely not bring her rosy flame demon fox to the state it was in now. This unfamiliar young caretaker had given her a huge surprise. On the other side, Suran was also checking the fruits of his grooming labor. Under normal circumstances, grooming a leader species pet beast of the elite stage wasn't something he would check his rewards for. Because at his B level, acquiring 2-star skills through plucking fur was almost a certainty, and 2-star skills no longer held much meaning for his 3 little ones. They were directly decomposed into skill fragments. However, the phrase that the system had presented after scanning the rosy flame demon fox had caught his attention. And upon checking, he indeed found something unusual. In the pet beast skill column, there were 3 new skills. Flame Blossom non-teachable. Burning Flame / non-teachable. Rock Needle teachable. The skills he had obtained before had already been cleared and decomposed by him, so these 3 skills could only have come from today's grooming. Rock Needle must be the Earth attribute skill he had obtained from grooming the Leoli Stone dragon earlier. As for the remaining 2 fire attribute skills, Suran's gaze couldn't help but drift towards Chu Yue's embrace, where the rosy flame demon fox was. Plucking fur once and obtaining 2 skills. The system skill Plucking Fur's effect allows a chance to acquire the target pet beast skills after use, with the probability changing depending on the skill star level of the pet beast skills and the level of the system skill. It doesn't state that only one pet beast skill can be acquired, which means there is indeed a possibility to obtain multiple pet beast skills from a single Plucking Fur. But Suran had only noticed this occurrence once since getting the skill. Even though it's possible that it happened before and he didn't notice, there is no doubt that such a probability is exceedingly rare and unusual. Could this be the unexpected reward that the system mentioned? But an extra 2-star skill for him was just 4 more skill fragments, which was a drop in the ocean for his current 3 little ones. Isn't that reward a bit too meager? Hello, please groom my other pet beast. Chu Yue's voice interrupted Su Ran's train of thought. Watching Chu Yue summon her second pet beast, Su Ran quickly snapped back to reality and displayed an enthusiastic smile. No problem. Chu Yue's second pet beast was a vitality dog. It was a dog-type pet beast from the super ability attribute with a small body size, covered in short white curly fur, resembling a Bichon Frise, lively and clever, and also possessing 4 powerful 2-star skills in the psychic realm, a pet beast with high potential as well. Chu Yue's preference for aesthetics when picking her pet beasts could be seen from her choice of the two. And indeed, Chu Yue took great care in maintaining her 2 pet beasts, as the washing and protection requirement for the Vitality dog was still only 2 stars. However, race name Vitality dog. Attribute Super ability attribute. Growth step Elite stage. Body type small size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. A lucky little guy, it's been well looked after by its beast master, but some hidden dirt deep inside isn't something simple care can resolve. Host, take action, perhaps there will be other unexpected rewards. Looking at the system's evaluation word for word, Su Ran fell into deep thought. What's wrong? Seeing Su Ran motionless, Chu Yue asked curiously. Nothing much, Su Ran said as he took a deep look at Chu Yue. Chapter 572, 305 Du Huyan's Letter. Chapter 572, Chapter 305 Du Huyan's Letter. Indeed, that's the Starfare foster care shop. Chu Yue nodded, a hint of regret on her face. If it weren't for the bad draw of the location, the entrance to that grooming room wouldn't be so deserted. Having said that, she seemed to realize something and looked at Du Kaiyan with surprise. You seem to know about this shop. Atilda, I do indeed. Du Kaiyan rubbed his temples. If it's him, then it's not surprising. At these words, a strong sense of curiosity surged in Chu Yue's heart. She opened her mouth, about to ask who exactly he was when Jiang Min, who had come back to her senses, quickly interrupted. Qian brother, can we skip the line and get washed and protected first? Jiang Min put her hands together and made a cute face. Qian brother is really too popular. The queue is just too long. I've already waited for more than an hour tilde. Thank you for your support. There was a smile on Du Kaiyan's face, but just when Jiang Min thought he would agree, he spoke without changing his smile, but no cutting in line. Jiang Min. Gazing past Jiang Min, Du Kaiyan looked towards the long queue behind him, his face also showing a touch of helplessness. He was well aware of his groom rate. The people currently in line were enough to keep him washing for 2 days, not to mention more would keep coming. He sighed slightly and signaled to an assistant not far away. The assistant understood and quickly handed over a megaphone. Taking the megaphone, Du Kaiyan spoke out loud. Dear fellow beast masters, I thank you all for your trust and affection, but there are simply too many people in line right now. With such a long queue, the wait times will increase accordingly, and it's even possible that a 2-day wait might not ensure service, and that's something none of us want to see. Therefore, I hope you will try other grooming rooms as well. Any grooming room standing here is worthy of your trust. There was a slight pause in Du Kaiyan's speech. If you really aren't sure which one to choose, you can walk a bit deeper. There's a grooming room called Starfare Foster Care Shop that's worth a try. As soon as these words came out, applause erupted from the crowd. With such remarks, it was as if he had opened up the game, making everyone instantly feel even more favorable towards this young caretaker. The disappointment Jiang Min felt from being refused a chance to skip the line dissipated in an instant, her eyes turning into stars as she looked at Du Kaiyan's handsome face, so close at hand. Even Chu Yue revealed a look of surprise and admiration. To be able to speak such words, Du Kaiyan was indeed not simple. After Du Kaiyan's speech, people in the rear of the queue began to disperse, most of them heading deeper as advised. They wanted to try out the grooming room, personally recommended by Du Kaiyan. Seeing this scene, Du Kaiyan smiled faintly, tossed the megaphone back to his assistant, and turned to enter the grooming room. The assistant blinked, then quickly followed him in. Qian, why do that? He complained with some incomprehension. It's bad enough pushing customers away, but why go out of your way to recommend another groomer? Isn't that helping the competition? This is your first grooming exhibition as the chief groomer for the 100 Flowers Foster store after taking over from your sister, and winning the Cleaning Saint title is important. I know. Du Kaiyan smiled and began to clean the grooming table, preparing for the next washing and protection. "Let me do it." Seeing this, the assistant hurriedly took over the task, grumbling as he cleaned. "If you know, why do it? That Starfair foster care shop I've never even heard of, why help them?" Smiling silently, Du Kaiyan watched the assistant clean and grumble, recalling the letter his sister had sent some days ago. At the invitation of the Monster Wooden City Beast Master Association, his sister, who had been the chief groomer at the 100 Flowers Foster store, represented the Du family from Bright Radiant City and established a branch of the 100 Flowers store in Monster Wooden City, prompting his own promotion to chief groomer. His sister had not severed her links with Bright Radiant City after moving to Monster Wooden City, regularly sending letters back home, writing about her various experiences in Monster Wooden City, and expressing her care and greetings to the family. In her last letter, Du Kaiyan noticed something his sister mentioned, which he found quite intriguing. In Monster Wooden City, there was a foster care shop named Starfair. The shop's owner, like his sister, wasn't a local of Monster Wooden City, but instead had opened a branch store at the invitation of the Monster Wooden City Beast Master Association. In the letter, his sister repeatedly described the other's grooming skills with words like magical, ingenious, and astonishing, and the other was also a young person. This made Du Kaiyan mentally note down this foster care shop, regretting that the other was not in Bright Radiant City, and wishing he could witness the other's grooming skills for himself. And now here he was in Bright Radiant City, hearing the same name again. Combining that with the astonishing state of the girl's pet beast after grooming, Du Kaiyan was at least 70% sure that the other was the person his sister had mentioned. Despite not knowing why the other had appeared here, Du Kaiyan's wish to witness the other's grooming skills was likely to be fulfilled. No, just witnessing was not enough. How could he not have a match with such a skilled groomer? Because a bad location was drawn, the business was quiet. Chapter 573, 305 Du Huyan's Letter. Chapter 573, Chapter 305 Du Huyan's Letter / "It's all right, I'll share my customers with you." He wanted to see, under the same conditions of saturated client flow, who between them could get more praise from the Beast Master customers for their washing and protection skills. "Chien, it's all cleaned up." The assistant nimbly finished tidying up the washing station and called out loud. "Help me call in the next customer." Du Chi and rolled up his sleeves to the middle of his upper arms and spoke slowly. "Huh, okay." The assistant was stunned for a moment, then his eyes lit up with joy, and he quickly walked out of the washing room. Having worked with Du Chien for a long time, the assistant was very familiar with his habits. Normally, Du Chien would roll his sleeves up to his elbows when washing, but sometimes he would roll them up even further, all the way to the middle of his upper arms. Often this meant he was finally getting serious. The assistant had been worried because of Du Chien's move to turn away customers, but now he was filled with confidence. A serious Du Chi and was bound to take down the cleaning saint. Pushing open the door of the washing room, the assistant shouted outside. "Next." Having sent off another satisfied customer, Su Ran waved at the forming line outside, prompting the Beast Master at the very front to step forward with anticipation, while the other waiting customers jostled again at the sight of the freshly groomed pet beast. Initially, there were doubts about this caretaker that Du Chien had recommended but whom they had never heard of, and whose foster shop was utterly unfamiliar. But as each pet beast came out transformed after the session, those doubts had turned into confidence and intense anticipation. This caretaker had real skills. At that moment, many people silently thanked Du Chien in their hearts. That young man, when he recommends a master, he truly means it. "Mr. Su, I was recommended by Du Chien. You've got to give my pet beast a good cleaning." Stepping inside the washing room, the new customer chuckled and initiated the conversation. "Rest assured, I will give my best effort for each washing and protection session," Su Ran replied with a smile, yet a flicker of peculiar light passed through his eyes. The customer probably thought he was well acquainted with Du Chien, hence playing this card of sentiment. But he genuinely didn't know the caretaker named Du Chien. An hour ago, the appearance of a sudden queue outside his shop had also taken him by surprise. After learning that these customers were recommended by a caretaker named Du Chien, his feelings were rather complex. However, Su Ran had some clue about why Du Chien would do this. Knowing that Du Chien was from the 100 Flowers foster store and that he shared the Du surname, Su Ran had a rough idea of the situation. Previously in Monster Wooden City, the owner of 100 Flowers Foster Store was Du Huyen. She had been invited to set up a branch there, with the main location in Bright Radiant City. Clearly, the 100 Flowers Foster Store where Du Qian worked was this main branch. Moreover, Du Huyen had once casually mentioned to him during a chat that she had a brother who was good at cleaning and caring. If there were no surprises, this caretaker named Du Qian was indeed Du Huyen's brother. So did he learn about Su Ran from Du Huyen and decide to help him out at this time? Thinking about this, Su Ran's face couldn't help but show a trace of wistfulness. Just arriving in Bright Radiant City, and he already owed someone a favor. Once the cleaning exhibition was over, he would have to visit the 100 Flowers Foster Store to express his thanks. As his thoughts wandered, his hands didn't slow down, and with Xian's cooperation, he had already completed the preparation work for washing and protection of the waiting pet beast. This customer's pet beast was a wind attribute flying scythe weasel. Despite its palm-sized body type, it was a standout among the leader species of the wind system, possessing astonishing speed and powerful attacks, capable of claiming the lives of living beings in an invisible and unpredictable manner. However, at this moment, this ruthless wind assassin revealed a vulnerable side under the soaking of Su Ran's bath liquid, its body shaking involuntarily, its face bearing a relaxed and content expression, and its eyes clouding with a misty, dazed look. Soon, a quaint and odd sound echoed in the washing room and faintly passed through the door. Squeak tilde tilde tilde. Few tilde it's done, your pet beast's cleaning and caring are finished. Liu Kang shook his slightly sore wrists, looking towards the waiting customer. Let me have a look. The one who had waited for quite a while quickly approached, inspecting their now radiant pet beast, a satisfied expression surfacing on their face. Mr. Liu's washing skills are just as good as before. Hee hee, you flatter me. Liu Kang laughed and waved his hand modestly. It's all part of the job. Anyway, I'm really thankful for Mr. Liu's washing and protection, the customer, cradling their pet beast, said with joy on their face. Do you need me to call the next customer for you? Thank you very much, but not for the moment, Liu Kang shook his head. Then I won't disturb Mr. Liu any longer. I'll take my leave, the customer nodded, carrying their pet beast out the door of the washing room. Only when the door to the washing room closed once more did Liu Kang slump to the ground, waving his hands and revealing a helpless expression. As one gets older, the physical condition really does decline. In the past, I could handle over a dozen pet beasts in a row with no trouble. Now just a few have me needing a rest. Chapter 574, 305, Du Huyen's Letter. Chapter 574, Chapter 305, Du Huyen's Letter /. As he was speaking, behind him the hexagram star array flickered, and a pet beast that somewhat resembled a golden mushroom rapidly appeared. Light attribute, transcendent stage leader species, golden mushroom. Liu Kang was also a beast master, except his talent was quite ordinary, and he didn't harbor a strong desire to become more powerful. He had contracted a light attribute pet beast with healing capabilities to assist with his grooming work. Following Liu Kang's reach towards the golden mushroom, it skillfully released a puff of light mist, enveloping his wrist. In a warmth-filled moment, Liu Kang instantly felt the soreness in his wrist greatly relieved. Hee hee, it's good to have you, Liu Kang said, patting the golden mushroom's head once the treatment finished, his face showing a bit of longing. If a beast master becomes stronger, their physical condition improves, making grooming more efficient. It's a pity that powerful beast masters disdain the work of a caretaker. At this point, Su Ran's figure suddenly popped into Liu Kang's mind. That somewhat unfamiliar young man, he must be a formidable beast master, right? With 3 pet beasts, he must be at the leadership stage, right? And he's still so young. A hint of envy appeared in Liu Kang's eyes. That young man's grooming efficiency was probably much higher than his own. But still, when it comes to grooming techniques, of course, he was the stronger one. Thinking this, a bit more smugness crept into Liu Kang's eyes, as if regaining some self-confidence. He pushed himself off the ground with both hands and stood up. Let's go, Jin. Come with me to take a look outside. Liu Kang had a habit. Once he started a grooming session, he would not leave the grooming room midway. So from the first customer, he remained in his little corner, and even for calling in the next customer, he would have the previous one do it. At this moment, he was suddenly curious about how long the queue outside his door had become and what was the situation like in the other grooming rooms. Presumably, the line of customers waiting outside his grooming room should be the longest in the nearby area, right? Even though this location was rather remote, since the grooming exhibition had been running for a while, there should have been quite a few customers waiting at the entrance who became impatient and decided to look deeper inside for a grooming room. Thus, with his hands on the grooming room's door, Liu Kang's face revealed some expectation. Daring to guess, could there be 20 customers lined up at the door? With this thought, Liu Kang swung the door open. Then the smile on his face stiffened slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only a mere 4 people were queued outside the door. The caretaker room personally recommended by Du Kaiyan was somewhere they wanted to try. Watching that scene, Du Kaiyan smiled faintly, threw the megaphone to his assistant, and turned to walk into the grooming room. The assistant blinked and hurriedly followed. "Chien, why do this?" he complained somewhat bafflingly. "It's one thing to push queued customers away, but why specifically recommend another caretaker to them? Isn't that feeding the competition? This is your first time participating in the grooming exhibition as the chief groomer of the 100 Flowers Foster store, succeeding your sister. Winning the title Cleaning Saint is very important for you." "I know." Du Kaiyan smiled and started cleaning the grooming table, readying for the next grooming session. "Let me do it," the assistant said as he stepped forward to take over, complaining while he cleaned. "If you know this, why still do it? That Starfare foster care shop I haven't even heard of, so why help them?" Du Kaiyan remained silent but smiled, watching the assistant tidy up while grumbling, and he couldn't help recalling the letter his sister had sent him the other days. Because of the invitation from the Monster Wooden City Beast Master Association, his sister, who had been the chief groomer at the 100 Flowers Foster store, represented the Du family of Bright Radiant City and opened a branch of 100 Flowers Foster in Monster Wooden City, which in turn led to his promotion to chief groomer. His sister, now in Monster Wooden City, hadn't cut off contact with Bright Radiant City. She would regularly send letters back home, sharing her experiences in Monster Wooden City and expressing her care and greetings for the family. In his sister's last letter, Du Kaiyan noted something his sister mentioned that caught his attention. In Monster Wooden City, there was a foster shop called Starfare Foster. The owner of that shop, like his sister, wasn't a local of Monster Wooden City, but had moved there at the invitation of the Monster Wooden City Beast Master Association to open a branch. In the letter, his sister repeatedly described the other party's grooming techniques as magical, ingenious, and astonishing, and mentioned that the person was also a youth. This made Du Kaiyan mentally note down this foster shop and regret that since it wasn't in Bright Radiant City, he couldn't witness the grooming skills for himself. And now here he was in Bright Radiant City, hearing the same name. Combining that with the astonishing condition of the girl's pet beast after grooming, Du Kaiyan had at least a 70% certainty that this was the person his sister mentioned. Although he didn't know why this person had appeared here, his desire to witness the other's grooming skills was likely to be satisfied. No, merely witnessing wasn't enough. How could he not directly compete against such an impressive caretaker? Did he end up with a bad location in the lottery, resulting in slow business? "No problem, I'll share my customers with you." He wanted to see who, under the same saturated customer flow, could win more approval from the Beast Master clients through their grooming. Chapter 575, 305, Du Huyan's Letter. Chapter 575, Chapter 305, Du Huyan's Letter / "Chien, it's all set." The assistant swiftly completed the cleaning of the grooming table and spoke aloud. "Help me call the next customer in." Du Kaiyan rolled up his sleeves to the midsection of his upper arms and slowly said, "Huh, okay." The assistant, momentarily stunned, quickly sported a hint of joy in his eyes and briskly walked towards the entrance of the grooming room. He had worked with Du Kaiyan for a long time and was very familiar with his habits. Normally, when Du Kaiyan groomed pets, he would roll his sleeves up to his elbows, but sometimes he would roll them up even higher, all the way to the midsection of his upper arms. Oftentimes, this indicated that he was about to seriously get to work. The assistant had been worried because of Du Kaiyan's action of actively dismissing customers, but now he was filled with newfound confidence. A Du Kaiyan who was serious about his work was bound to take the title of Cleaning Saint. Pushing open the door of the grooming room, the assistant shouted outside, Next, after sending off yet another satisfied customer, Su Ran waved to the burgeoning queue outside the door, prompting the Beast Master customer at the very front to step forward eagerly, while the others in line started to rustle due to the freshly groomed pet beast. Initially, they held a degree of skepticism towards this groomer recommended by Du Kaiyan, an unfamiliar name, and even the foster shop was completely new to them. But as each pet beast emerged from the grooming, transformed and refreshed, that skepticism had long turned into confidence and intense anticipation. This groomer truly had the skills. At this moment, many silently thanked Du Kaiyan in their hearts. That boy, when he recommends a master, he really means it. Mr. Su, I came on Du Kaiyan's recommendation. Make sure you clean my pet beast well. The new customer chuckled as he entered the grooming room and initiated conversation. Rest assured, I will do my utmost for every grooming session, Su Ran smiled and replied, though a brief flicker of peculiarity flashed in his eyes. The other person probably thought he was well acquainted with Du Kaiyan, hence playing this card of sentiment. But he really didn't know the groomer called Du Kaiyan. An hour ago, he was just as surprised to see the sudden queue outside his shop. After learning that all these customers had been referred by a groomer named Du Kaiyan, his feelings were quite mixed. Nevertheless, Su Ran wasn't completely clueless as to why Du Kaiyan had done this. Upon learning that Du Kaiyan was from the 100 Flowers foster store and shared the surname Du, Su Ran roughly guessed the whole story. Previously in Monster Wooden City, the owner of the 100 Flowers foster store was named Du Huyen, who had been invited to establish a branch in Monster Wooden City, with the main store located in Bright Radiant City. Clearly, the 100 Flowers foster store where Du Kaiyan worked was indeed the main store. And during a casual conversation, Du Huyen once mentioned she had a brother who was adept at grooming. Without a doubt, this groomer named Du Kaiyan must be Du Huyen's brother. Somehow he had learned about his existence from Du Huyen, and so he helped him out at this time. Thinking this through, Su Ran's face showed a touch of melancholy. Having just arrived in Bright Radiant City, he already owed someone a favor. After the grooming exhibition ended, he'd have to visit the 100 Flowers foster store personally to express his thanks. While pondering, his hands remained swift, and with Xian's cooperation, he had already finished preparing the pet beast for its washing and protection. This customer's pet beast was a wind attribute flying scythe weasel. Despite its palm-sized body type, it stood out among the leader species of the wind attribute, boasting astonishing speed and powerful offensive abilities, snatching lives in its elusive movements. However, at this moment, under the influence of Su Ran's cleansing solution, the ruthless wind assassin quickly revealed its vulnerabilities, its body trembling involuntarily, its face expressing comfort and relaxation, and its eyes filled with haziness and trance. Soon, a melodious and peculiar sound echoed within the grooming room, and even faintly passed through the door. Squeak tilde tilde tilde. Phew tilde, it's done. Your pet beast cleaning and caring is complete. Liu Kang shook his slightly sore wrist and looked towards the waiting customer. Let me see. The customer, who had been waiting for a while, stepped forward quickly, inspecting their pet beast that was now looking radiant, a look of satisfaction appearing on their face. Mr. Liu's cleaning skills are as good as ever. Hee hee, you flatter me, Liu Kang laughed as he waved his hand. It's all part of the job. Anyway, I'm really grateful for Mr. Liu's services, the customer said, holding their pet beast joyfully. Do you need me to call the next customer for you? Thank you very much, but there's no need for now, Liu Kang shook his head. Then I won't disturb Mr. Liu any longer. I'll take my leave, said the customer, nodding and walking out the door with their pet beast. Once the door of the cleaning room closed again, Liu Kang collapsed to the ground, swinging his arms, his face showing a helpless expression. As I get older, my physical condition has definitely declined a lot. In the past, cleaning over a dozen pet beasts in a row was no problem, but now I need a break after just a few. As he spoke, the hexagram star array behind him flickered, and a pet beast that looked somewhat like a golden mushroom swiftly appeared. Light attribute transcendent stage, leader species, golden mushroom. Liu Kang was also a beast master, but his talents were quite mediocre, and he didn't have much desire to become stronger. He contracted a light attribute pet beast with healing abilities to assist him in his cleaning work. As Liu Kang extended his hand towards the golden mushroom, it skillfully released a mist of light, enveloping his wrist. In the warmth, Liu Kang immediately felt a great relief from the soreness in his wrist. Hee, I'm lucky to have you, Liu Kang said, petting the golden mushroom's head after the treatment ended, his face then filling with longing. If a beast master becomes more powerful, their physical condition also improves, making cleaning more efficient. Unfortunately, powerful beast masters find the work of a caretaker beneath them. At this point, Liu Kang suddenly thought of Su Ran. That unfamiliar-looking young man, isn't he a strong beast master? With 3 pet beasts, he must be at the leadership stage, right? And he's still so young. Envy glinted in Liu Kang's eyes. The young man's cleaning efficiency probably far surpasses his own. But still, when it comes to cleaning skills, naturally I'm stronger. With this thought, Liu Kang's eyes regained some of his self-satisfaction, as though he had found back some of his confidence. He propped himself up with his hands and stood up. Come on, Jin, accompany me outside to take a look. Liu Kang had a habit, which was that once he started cleaning, he wouldn't leave the cleaning room halfway through. So from the first customer onwards, he had stayed in his little corner all along, even asking the previous customer to call in the next one. At this moment, he was suddenly curious about how long the queue outside his door was, and what the situation was like in the other cleaning rooms. Presumably, the line of customers outside his cleaning room should be the longest in the nearby area, right? Although his location was a bit out of the way, the cleaning expo had been going on for a while, and there should be quite a few customers from the entrance who gave up after waiting for a long time and decided to go deeper looking for cleaning rooms. So, placing his hands on the door of the cleaning room, Liu Kang's face held a bit of anticipation. Daring to make a guess, could there be 20 customers in the queue outside? With that thought, Liu Kang swung the door wide open. Immediately after, the smile on his face stiffened. 1, 2, 3, 4. There were only a sparse 4 people in line outside. Chapter 576, 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony. Chapter 576, Chapter 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony. The door to the washing and protection room opened once again under Du Kaien's watchful gaze. Su Ran, who had just seen off another customer under the moonlight, came out and waved to the somewhat restless and excited customers behind him, then cupped his hands around his cheeks and spoke up clearly. Everyone, thank you for your support and trust in me and the Starfare Foster Care Shop. Until the end of the cleaning and caring exhibition, this washing and protection room will remain open. It's getting late now, please be mindful of the time and don't let waiting in line delay your other affairs. Rest assured I will be here. His words caused the queuing crowd to stir once more. Working tirelessly to wash and protect for everyone without earning a single penny, such dedication from a caretaker was truly admirable. Some clients, who were hesitant about continuing to queue because of the late hour, felt reassured like taking a calming pill after hearing these words, and chose to wait without hesitation. Others were also reassured and decided to come back early in the morning to queue, opting to leave for now. After a moment of commotion, the number of people in line decreased, but the eyes of the waiting customers looking towards Su Ran were filled with expectation. Next, please. Seeing this, Su Ran smiled and spoke, then turned and entered the washing and protection room. Not far away, Du Kaien, standing in the shadows, fell silent. Was this the cleaning master his sister had mentioned, the one who was even more excellent than himself? He suppressed the urge to step forward and converse with Su Ran, turning instead towards his own washing and protection room. Keep it up. If others can stay up all night, so can I. Time flew rapidly amidst the bustling cleaning and caring exhibition. With a good start on the first day, Su Ran's washing and protection room achieved full, non-stop service with no idle time on the second day. With the cooperation of Xian and Star, even after washing and protecting continuously for 2 days and 1 night, he hardly felt tired at all. And Can, who kept watch outside the door, was not completely without use. Its body, enlarged to about 50 meters, was quite conspicuous, taller even than the washing and protection rooms provided by the organizers, attracting more passers-by beast masters while also deterring the petty thieves. With the full cooperation of 1 person and 3 pets, the renewed appearance of more and more pet beasts of the beastmasters walking in the street caught countless eyes, and more beastmasters learned about the amazing skills of this unfamiliar caretaker at the cleaning and caring exhibition. As a result, the reputation of Starfare Foster Care Shop spread even before officially starting its business. Soon, the evening of the second day of the cleaning and caring exhibition arrived. With the tolling of a bell that resounded throughout the venue, wails of disappointment emanated from the crowds outside the doors of each cleaning and protection room. These cries came from the beast masters who had queued for a long time, but still hadn't had their turn. Because with the ringing of that bell, the pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition had ended. They had missed the free services and would now have to pay for cleaning at the Foster shop. When the bell tolled, Suran was washing and protecting a customer's pet beast. Hearing the bell, the customer's face suddenly lit up with happiness. "Looks like I'm in luck, just in time for the last slot." The last slot? Suran turned to glance at the customer with a touch of confusion in his eyes. "Why is it the last slot?" "Huh, Mr. Su, you didn't know?" the customer asked, surprised. "The ringing of the bell signifies the end of the exhibition. According to the rules of the exhibition, if the cleaning is not finished when the bell rings, it can continue, and the customer can still give a rating to the caretaker. But for the caretaker's subsequent customers, they cannot give ratings, meaning it won't affect the outcome for the cleaning saint title." The customer scratched his head. "That title should be quite important to you guys, right?" "For me, the title is indeed very important." Suran nodded slightly, at the same time recalling the scene when he had sent off the previous customer and the current one had entered. Perhaps knowing that there wasn't much time left until the end of the exhibition, several had given up queuing, and the line had shortened considerably, leaving only a dozen or so customers. With that thought, Suran slowly spoke, "But customers are more important than titles. Your pet beast is all clean now." Done." The customer's attention quickly shifted to his own pet beast. He stood up and hurried forward, gazing at the fluffy little hamster pet beast in Suran's hands, his face showing a look of delight. "Boss Su, this is the first time I've seen my golden eye rat styled like this. It's fantastic," he said while carefully picking up his pet, eyes brimming with affection. "As long as you're happy," Suran smiled, quickly tidied up the washing and protection table, then walked towards the door of the room. Seeing Suran's actions, the customer snapped out of it and quickly followed, starting to inquire. "Boss Su, when you said customers are more important than titles, what did you mean by that?" "That?" Suran didn't answer directly but simply smiled and then opened the door to the washing and protection room, addressing the people standing still with sighs, ready to leave. "Those of you who were queuing before, please don't leave. I will continue to provide free washing and protection. Of course, those who queue up afterwards won't be included. Next, please." After a moment of silence, the customers waiting outside Suran's washing and protection room burst into cheers, grateful they hadn't given up too soon. The customer at the very front of the line was as ecstatic as if he had won the lottery, walking up to Suran and thanking him repeatedly. Chapter 577, 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony. Chapter 577, Chapter 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony /. The customer who had just finished his pet's cleaning and caring before him felt an inevitable sense of disappointment and helplessness. Now Suran's words sounded like music to his ears, and the joy of turning great sorrow into great joy was unprecedented. He took a deep look at the sign reading, "Starfair Foster Care Shop," in the cleaning room and silently decided that next time he needed his pet beast cleaned and cared for, he would stick to this shop. While the queue outside Suran's cleaning room remained as is, other caretakers gradually completed their final cleanings and left their rooms to head to the awards venue organized by the host. There, the organizers would announce the final recipient of the Cleaning Saint title and present different awards to other caretakers who had performed exceptionally well and received high praise during the cleaning exhibit. About half an hour after the chiming of the clock had ceased, the venue was filled with caretakers eager to learn who would claim the title, and the host invited by the Beast Master Association was standing on stage. "Good evening, caretakers," the host said with a smile as warm as a spring breeze. "Everyone has worked hard these past 2 days. Without further ado, I believe what everyone is most concerned about is which caretaker here has received the most praise and will earn the honorary title of Cleaning Saint, an honor bestowed only once every 3 years. As the host's words ended, a chorus of agreement rose from the seats, and eager expressions crossed the faces of the caretakers. The title of Cleaning Saint is an honorary title awarded once every 3 years. Moreover, it is a title with an expiration date. The validity of this title lasts only for 3 years, and one must participate in the next pet beast cleaning and caring exhibit to claim it again. Those caretakers who had attained it in the past could only be addressed as former saints. At that moment, there were several such individuals present. However, as the saying goes, new generations continue to surpass the old, and these newcomers were becoming increasingly formidable, making it more difficult for the previous title holders to reclaim their status. So, the host drew out the suspense and slowly raised the card in his hand. Once he had everyone's attention, his tone shifted. Let us first unveil the list of outstanding caretakers of this exhibit. Immediately, a collective hush fell over the audience. An outstanding caretaker was one who ranked in the top 20 in terms of overall score during the exhibit, with different awards granted according to their respective standings. While this was also a matter of anticipation, it paled in comparison to the honor of cleaning saint. However, this was no exception for the audience. There had never been an awards event where the most significant award was presented first. And, once the rankings of the outstanding caretakers were determined, the cleaning saint was naturally decided. After lightening the mood in the venue, the host began to call out the winners' names from the 20th position, inviting each to the stage to receive their corresponding awards. Each award recipient's appearance on stage kept the atmosphere perpetually high. Dukayan, sitting among the crowd, occasionally turned his head to look around. But from the start of the awards ceremony to now, he had not seen the figure he was looking for. Has Suran not arrived yet? Dukayan was increasingly puzzled. With so much time having passed since the chimes resonated, even if the last pet beast Suran was cleaning was a time-consuming large pet beast, and even if the clock had just started ringing during his cleaning, he should have finished by now, shouldn't he? As the name of the third-place caretaker was called, Dukayan grew more impatient. Up until now, he had not heard his own name, nor had he heard Suran's name. Confident in his own cleaning skills, Dukayan was also confident in Suran's. Therefore, barring any surprises, the glorious title of cleaning saint would be decided between the two of them. At such a critical moment, the absence of his counterpart was utterly baffling to Dukayan. Could it be that Suran, being new to Bright Radiant City, was not very familiar with the rules of the pet beast cleaning and caring exhibit and couldn't find the venue for the awards? For a moment, he regretted not taking a detour to Suran's cleaning room after finishing his own work to check on him and accompany him here. Then they could have exchanged a few words on the way, making up for the missed opportunity to get acquainted the previous night. As Dukayan's thoughts raced, the host, holding the card, began to speak deliberately. Second place, Dukayan. Is it me? Dukayan was taken aback and then shook his head with resignation. He had still failed to surpass Suran. It seemed my sister was right. Suran is indeed strong. Despite a tinge of disappointment, Dukayan felt more determined and curious about Suran. As for the title, he was still young. There would be other chances to earn it. He walked onto the stage step by step, casually responding to the host's compliments, and once again scanned the seated guests from his elevated position. From this vantage point, he could see clearly. Suran indeed had not come. After receiving his award, Dukayan returned to his seat, his eyebrows furrowed. Suran, where had he gone? Next up, Chu. Suran, just about to call the next client, suddenly sneezed without warning, rubbing his nose with some surprise on his face. As a general-level beast master, could he really have caught a cold? Mr. Su, are you feeling all right? Asked the next client about to step forward, concerned. I heard you stayed up all night washing and caring for everyone yesterday. Maybe you should call it a day for today. Chapter 578, 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony. Chapter 578, Chapter 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony /. It's okay, Suran shook his head with a smile, glancing at the customer's pet following behind. Just 3 more customers to go. Having come this far, there was no point in giving up halfway. Come on in. This, okay? The customer no longer insisted, following Suran into the washing and protection room. When Mr. Su's foster shop opens, I'll definitely refer some friends. I'll thank you in advance then. If everything goes well, we should be officially open in a couple of days, Suran said with a smile, gesturing for the customer's pet beast to wait on the grooming table for its wash and protection service. Watching Suran methodically prepare for the washing and protection, the customer suddenly remembered something. Mr. Su, by this time, the title of cleaning saint should have been announced already. In my opinion, you stand a very good chance of getting the title. Aren't you going to check it out in person? It's not a small honor, you know. It's fine, Su Ran said, shaking his head slightly. If it's mine, it won't slip away. Let's give the warmest applause to congratulate caretaker Su Ran for achieving the highest overall score in the washing and protection, being today's top honoree and also the winner of the cleaning saint title. In the host's fervent voice, the venue erupted into enthusiastic applause. However, amongst those clapping below, many eyes were filled with confusion. Before this, they had never heard of such a person. Where did he come from? And as the applause on stage continued longer and longer with no one coming up, their confusion only deepened. Where is he? Soon the applause began to thin, and sensing something amiss, the venue fell into silence. The host's face also showed a few traces of bewilderment. The situation was clearly beyond expectation. The most important award, and the winner is nowhere to be found. Does anyone here know Su Ran, or know where he might be right now? In desperation, he could only turn to the other caretakers in the audience for help. The audience looked at each other. After a while, a middle-aged man stood up. My washing and protection room is right next to his. That was Liu Kang from Green Cloud Pet Foster Care Shop, who once had the honor of the cleaning saint title as well. Now he's one of the former holy hands present, but this time around he only achieved the 11th spot, which elicited sighs from people. Seeing everyone looking at him, Liu Kang fell silent. Unless something unexpected happened, he should still be at his own washing and protection room. When I left, there were still customers lining up outside his door. It seems he plans to finish washing and protecting all these overtime clients. As Liu Kang finished speaking, an eerie silence fell over the crowd. Every face showed a look of surprise. Clearly, they had thought of every possibility, but never anticipated this. Not long after, many faces showed admiration. Weren't there customers lined up outside their own shops when the bells rang? Of course there were. But they never considered continuing to provide washing and protection services for these clients, because the awards ceremony was about to begin. Comparing unpaid washing that wouldn't earn a score with receiving an award, the choice was obvious. All they could offer was a sorry, or a promise of a discount when clients came back to the shop for services later. But now, someone disregarded the award to provide free washing and protection for the queued clients. What's more ironic is that the most important award belonged to him. There were also quite a few people who smirked with taunting expressions, thinking Su Ran's actions somewhat foolish. With the awardee absent from the scene, the host could only resort to making small talk and awkwardly interacting with the audience to kill time. As seconds and minutes passed by, an association staff member eventually took the stage, receiving the microphone from the host. Since Mr. Su Ran isn't present, his award will be temporarily held by the association. He himself can collect it later at the association, they announced. The cleaning saint title is now in effect. From this moment, Mr. Su Ran will hold the title and its corresponding honors for the next 3 years. Upon finishing, the staff member returned the mic to the host and left the stage. I declare this award ceremony concluded. The host, as if pardoned, quickly followed the script to wrap things up and announce the end of the awards. Finally, he no longer had to make awkward conversation. When the host had also left the venue, only caretakers remained. Without any hesitation, Du Kaiyan stepped out of the venue and briskly walked in the direction of a certain memory. The other caretakers in the audience turned their gaze to Liu Kang. Brother Kang, where is that Su Ran's washing and protection room? Lead us there, one caretaker asked, and the others echoed the request. It's over there. Liu Kang pointed, pausing as he watched Du Kaiyan's retreating figure, so Du Kaiyan is also going to find him. The crowd exchanged glances and then, one by one, they hurriedly started to follow Du Kaiyan. Unfortunately, they were destined not to encounter the man who had claimed the honor without showing his face. Having been notified by the staff that the title was in effect and that he could collect his award later at the association, Su Ran, after completing the wash and protection for the last client, rode away on his star beneath the grateful gazes of the customers, quickly disappearing into the night. At that moment, his mind was only on Dawn building no one. He was going to be a ruthless homebuyer. By the time Du Kaiyan and the other caretakers arrived, Su Ran's washing and protection room was empty, with the plaque hanging conspicuously, the words Starfair Foster Care Shop catching the eye. Chapter 579, 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony. Chapter 579, Chapter 306, The Allegiance of Holy Hands, Irony /. At such a critical moment, the other party actually hadn't shown up, which left Du Kaiyan utterly puzzled. Could it be that Su Ran, having just arrived in Bright Radiant City not long ago, wasn't very clear about the rules of the pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition, and couldn't find the place for the award ceremony? For a moment, he felt some regret, thinking he should have taken a detour to Su Ran's cleaning room after the competition ended and brought him over together. That way, they could have exchanged a few words on the way, making up for the regret of not having met the previous night. While Du Kaiyan's mind was filled with thoughts, the host took the card in hand and began to speak word by word. Second place, Du Kaiyan. Is it me? Du Kaiyan was stunned for a moment, then shook his head wryly. Still, he hadn't managed to surpass Su Ran. It seems my sister was right. Su Ran's strength is indeed formidable. Although slightly disappointed, more than that, Du Kaiyan felt a surge of combativeness and curiosity toward Su Ran. As for the title, he was still young. There would be more opportunities for him to win it in the future. He walked up to the stage step by step, casually dealing with a few complimentary remarks from the host, his gaze once again sweeping over the seats below in distraction. Standing high on this spot, he could see clearly. Su Ran indeed hadn't come. After collecting his reward, Du Kaiyan returned to his seat, frowning deeply. Su Ran, where had he gone? Next, Chu. Just as Su Ran was about to call the next person, he suddenly sneezed without warning and rubbed his nose, a hint of surprise appearing on his face. As a general-level beast master, could he actually catch a cold? Mr. Su, are you feeling all right? The next customer, who was getting ready to step forward, asked with concern. I heard you stayed up all night cleaning and caring for everyone's pet beasts. Maybe you should call it a day. I'm fine. Su Ran shook his head with a smile, looking past the customer. There were only 3 customers left. Having come this far, there was no sense in giving up halfway. Come on in. Okay. The customer stopped trying to persuade him and followed Su Ran into the cleaning room. When Mr. Su's foster shop opens, I'll definitely refer my friends. I'll thank you in advance then. If all goes well, it should be officially open in a couple of days, said Su Ran with a smile, gesturing for the customer's pet beast to wait at the cleaning station. As he watched Su Ran methodically proceed with the pre-washing preparations, the customer suddenly remembered something. Mr. Su, around this time, they should be announcing the Cleaning Saint title. In my opinion, you stand a very high chance of winning that title. Aren't you going to check it out? That honor is no small matter. It's fine, Su Ran shook his head slightly. What's meant for me won't escape. Let's give a warm round of applause and congratulate the caretaker Su Ran for obtaining the highest rating in the entire cleaning contest, and for becoming today's first-place winner, as well as the recipient of the title Cleaning Saint. Amidst the host's fervent voice, the venue burst into enthusiastic applause. However, many in the audience clapping their hands were filled with puzzlement. Before this, they had never heard of such a person. Where had he emerged from? And as the applause on the stage continued for an increasingly long period without anyone coming forward, their confusion deepened. Where was he? Soon the clapping became sparse. As if sensing something amiss, the venue fell into silence. Puzzlement also appeared on the face of the host. The current situation was clearly beyond expectation. The most important award was at hand, yet the recipient was nowhere to be seen. Does anyone here know Su Ran or where he might be now? Out of options, he could only seek help from the other caretakers in the audience. The crowd exchanged glances, and after a while, a middle-aged man stood up. My washing and protection room is right next to his. That was Liu Kang from the Green Cloud Pet Foster Care Shop, who once had the honor of being called Cleaning Saint. Now, he was one of the former saints present, and this time at the cleaning showcase, he had only managed to secure the 11th spot, a subject of size. With all eyes on him, Liu Kang fell silent for a moment. If nothing unexpected happened, he should still be in his own washing and protection room. When I left, I saw there were still customers lining up outside his room. It seems he plans to finish cleaning for those overtime customers. As Liu Kang's voice faded, an eerie silence enveloped the venue. Surprise showed on everyone's face. Clearly, they had contemplated all possibilities, but this had not occurred to them. However, within moments, many faces showed admiration. When the bell rang, were there not people queued outside their own cleaning rooms as well? Of course there were. But they had not considered continuing to clean for these customers, because the award ceremony was about to start. When compared to an award ceremony, a rating-less, non-profit cleaning seemed obviously less important. All they could do was utter an "I'm sorry," or promise some discount for cleaning later at the shop. But now, there was someone who disregarded the award ceremony, insisting on completing the cleaning for the waiting customers for free. And more ironically, the most significant reward of the ceremony belonged to him. There were also quite a few who looked on with scorn, considering Sue Rand's behavior somewhat foolish. Since the awardee was not present, the host had to make idle conversation, awkwardly chatting with the audience to pass the time. As the minutes and seconds ticked away, an association staff member stepped onto the stage and took the microphone from the host. Since Mr. Sue Rand is not present, the association will temporarily keep his award, and Mr. Sue Rand himself will collect it from the association later on. The title of Cleaning Saint is now in effect. From this moment, Mr. Sue Rand will bear this title and its corresponding honors for the next 3 years. After finishing, the staff member returned the microphone to the host and left the stage. "I declare this award ceremony concluded," the host announced, relieved, quickly going through the scripted closing remarks. He was finally freed from the awkward chit-chat. When the host also left, only the caretakers remained in the venue. Without the slightest hesitation, Du Kaiyan stepped out of the venue and headed briskly in a particular direction he remembered. The other caretakers then turned their gazes to Liu Kang. "Big Brother Kang, where's Su Ran's room? Can you take us to have a look?" one of the caretakers asked, and the others echoed in agreement. "It's just over there," Liu Kang pointed, pausing as he watched Du Kaiyan's retreating figure. It turns out Du Kaiyan is also going to find him. The group exchanged glances and then followed swiftly, trailing behind Du Kaiyan. Regrettably, they were destined never to see the man who had received the honors without making an appearance. Having been notified by the staff that the title was in effect and that he could collect his reward from the association later on, Su Ran, after serving the last customer in the thankful eyes of the patrons, rode away on his star, hastening away into the night. At that moment, his heart was set on dawn building no one. He intended to be an unfeeling homebuyer. When Du Kaiyan and the other caretakers arrived, Su Ran's cleaning room was empty, with only the signboard hanging there conspicuously bearing the words Starfair Foster Care Shop. Chapter 580, 307. Starfair Foster Care Shop opens in Bright Radiant City. Chapter 580, Chapter 307. Starfair Foster Care Shop opens in Bright Radiant City. "Dujo, did you hear? The association held a pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition the other day." On Bright Avenue, one of two people walking side by side nudged the other with his shoulder and asked with a chuckle, "What? There was such a great event and you didn't tell me?" Dujo took a deep breath, his expression suddenly filled with heartache. "The pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition was only for 2 days. It's already over, isn't it?" "I'm telling you now, aren't I?" The one who had asked earlier laughed heh and patted Dujo on the shoulder. "You're very timely with your news." Dujo snorted and shook off his hand. "Enough said, Zhang Peng. I'm going to disown you as a friend for a day." "All right then, since that's the case, I won't tell you the big news from last night's pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition." Zhang Peng shrugged, feigning indifference. Dujo predictably took the bait, his ears perking up as he grabbed hold of him. "Spill it, what's the big news?" "Heh." Zhang Peng chuckled. "You'd never guess who won the title of Cleaning Saint for this edition of the Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring Exhibition. Was it Du Kaiyan from 100 Flowers Foster Store, or Chu Ranran from Red Snow Foster Home, or maybe Duan Yunchu from the Sales Foster Home?" Listing several renowned caretakers in Bright Radiant City in one breath, Dujo paused for a moment. "I think Du Kaiyan is the most likely, supporting our own kin." After speaking, he glanced at Zhang Peng's expression and couldn't help but frown. "Don't tell me none of them won." "Correct, the one who won the title of Cleaning Saint is a caretaker named Su Ran." Zhang Peng nodded his head, his eyes gleaming with pride as if he had been present at the event. "Su Ran? Never heard of him." Upon hearing Zhang Peng's answer, the confusion in Dujo's heart not only remained unresolved, it deepened even further. "Which foster shop does he work for?" This is where it gets interesting, Zhang Peng smiled. Su Ran is not associated with any foster shop in Bright Radiant City right now. He's from out of town and soon he'll be opening his own shop here. The name of the shop is already decided. It's going to be Starfair Foster Care Shop. Zhang Peng, with the air of one who knew Su Ran well, continued. If I'm not mistaken, it'll open within at most half a month. From out of town, no shop. Du Zhou pondered the interesting news Zhang Peng had shared and couldn't help but press for more. Anything else interesting? Of course, Zhang Peng gave a look that said, you've come to the right person. You should know that after the pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition ends, there is an award ceremony where they honor outstanding caretakers and announce who has won the title of Cleaning Saint. Seems there's something like that, Du Zhou nodded. What about it? Su Ran won the title of Cleaning Saint, but last night he didn't show up at the award ceremony. Zhang Peng patted Du Zhou's shoulder. Guess why? I'm not guessing. Quit beating around the bush. Du Zhou's eyebrows lifted. A hint of menace in his eyes spit it out. All right, I'll tell you. Zhang Peng raised his hands in surrender. The reason is, Su Ran had unfinished guest pets to clean and care for, so he missed the award ceremony still caring for his patrons. By that time, the cleaning and caring exhibition had already been over for more than an hour. Logically, customers who hadn't queued up in time wouldn't be able to enjoy free cleaning services. But Su Ran still cleaned all the queued guests for free before leaving. That, Du Zhou's face showed a trace of surprise. Hearing you say that, this caretaker named Su Ran really seems dedicated. I'm tempted to take my pet beast to him for cleaning. Heh heh, Zhang Peng smirked mischievously. Guess why I know all of this so clearly? Because among the guests who didn't queue up but were lucky enough to receive Su Ran's services yesterday, I was among them. Du Zhou. If looks could kill, he would have murdered this annoying friend. Take it easy, sensing Du Zhou's glare. Zhang Peng quickly spoke up to assuage him. Just wait 10 days or half a month, maybe Su Ran's foster care shop will open. Hold on a second, Du Zhou stood still, grabbing Zhang Peng. You said earlier that Su Ran's foster shop hasn't opened yet, but its name has been decided. What was the name again? Starfair Foster Care Shop. Star as in star, fire as in flame. Then look over there. Du Zhou raised a hand, pointing in the distance. There stood a grand and majestic building at the most conspicuous spot at the center of Bright Avenue, one of the landmarks on Bright Avenue. It was Dawn Building No. 1. Both were familiar with Dawn Building No. 1. After all, they could see it every time they went shopping. They were accustomed to it. In their memory, Dawn Building No. 1 always had a for sale sign, but for some reason, no one seemed to take over this excellently located building. But now, as their gaze shifted simultaneously towards the building, they quickly noticed something different about Dawn Building No. 1. The for sale sign was gone, and in its place was a striking plaque. The 5 characters on the sign were written with powerful, dynamic strokes. Starfair Foster Care Shop. Zhang Peng couldn't help but gape, his face reflecting his shock. Just yesterday, Su Ran had been welcoming every cleaning guest to visit his Starfair Foster Care Shop in the future, and today the shop was already up and running. Chapter 581-307, Starfair Foster Care Shop in Bright Radiant City, Grand Opening. Chapter 581, Chapter 307, Starfair Foster Care Shop in Bright Radiant City, Grand Opening / And, in the perpetually unoccupied Dawn Building No. 1. Watching Du Zhou, who said nothing and strode quickly towards Starfair Foster Care Shop, Zhang Peng suddenly snapped back to reality. Now was not the time for daydreaming. Du Zhou, wait for me, he shouted, hurrying to catch up. I also want to take my pet beast for cleaning and caring. During the pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition, they offered free services for large pet beasts, but Zhang Peng had another pet beast that had grown to super large size, and it hadn't received Su Ran's care yesterday. Last night, Zhang Peng had to console that pet beast for a while, promising that as soon as Su Ran's shop opened, he would take it for cleaning and caring first thing, which finally balanced out the feelings of the pet beast that was too large to be cared for yesterday. Unexpectedly, today was the day to fulfill that promise. Looking at the majestic Dawn Building No. 1, expectation filled Zhang Peng's eyes. If the cleaning rooms provided by the organizers could provide such cleaning, wouldn't cleaning inside Dawn Building No. 1 take it a step further? Charge. Right, just that spot, don't move, stay like that. Su Ran held his hands high above his head, standing on the now larger Can-Can's head, carefully hanging the object in his hands in the most conspicuous place inside the shop. There we go. Futilda finally done. Kankan slowly lowered his head and waited until Su-Ran jumped off his head before shifting back from his enormous state a moment ago to pocket size. Su-Ran turned around, admiring the masterpiece he had just hung up. It was a banner with the words "Cleaning Saint" embossed in golden letters, with a signature from the Beast Master Association of Bright Radiant City below. This banner was a gift from the Beast Master Association, presented to Su-Ran first thing in the morning when he went to collect yesterday's unclaimed rewards. According to the association, this banner was unique, and he was only borrowing it for 3 years. He had to return it after 3 years unless he was still recognized as the Cleaning Saint next time. Have such stinginess. After admiring it for a while, Su-Ran nodded with satisfaction. This spot is just perfect. Hello, is anybody here? The voice from outside the door quickly brought Su-Ran back to his senses. Yes, someone's here. His expression quickly shifted to a warm smile, and he hurried to welcome the customer. It's no wonder the location of Dawn Building No one is incomparably superior. It was the first day of business, and less than 10 minutes after opening, there was already a client at the door. This was unimaginable in the past. Soon, Su-Ran saw the 2 people entering the shop. Sir, have we met last night? He immediately recognized Zhang Peng, the man whose pet beast he attended to yesterday, and asked curiously. Ha, yesterday you took care of my pet beast, Zhang Peng laughed. I have another one that hasn't been cleaned, and I happened to pass by and saw your shop. I guess I should call you Boss Su now. Zhang Peng looked around. Boss Su, you set up your shop really quickly. Strike while the iron is hot. Su-Ran smiled and pointed to a wall nearby. Over there is the price list. Oh, right. Only then Zhang Peng spotted the price list and curiously started to read it. Yesterday, Su-Ran's services were free. But today, they surely wouldn't be free anymore. Zhang Peng had a lot of confidence in Su-Ran's cleaning skill. The only concern was Su-Ran's fees. He just hoped that Su-Ran wouldn't set the prices too high just because he had just won the title of Cleaning Saint. Cleaning and caring for a super large pet beast costs 266,666 each time. Seeing this price, Zhang Peng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. This price was double the current highest price in Bright Radiant City, but remembering the effect of Su-Ran's cleaning from the day before, he was still quite tempted. If it could have the same effect as yesterday, even doubling the price would be acceptable. On the other hand, Du Zhou, who had never experienced Su-Ran's cleaning, started to feel hesitant. This price, isn't it a bit expensive? As expected, there would always be someone to question the fees for the services in the store. Su-Ran had anticipated this, cleared his throat intending to speak, but Zhang Peng beat him to it. Expensive? Then I'll go first. Zhang Peng chuckled and patted his good buddy's back. After my beast is cleaned, you look at the effect. You won't think it's expensive anymore. Cutting in line for a justifiable reason, no problem at all. Okay, Du Zhou agreed without hesitation. With Zhang Peng going first, he could clearly see whether the money was well spent or not. If it wasn't worth it, he would rather go to another cleaning shop. Then let's go, Boss Su, urged Zhang Peng, not holding back. Please, this way, Su-Ran said with a smile, leading the way to the washing room. You're cleaning a super large pet beast, right? Just summon it inside the washing room. All right, following Su-Ran closely, Zhang Peng made his way into the washing room. As the door to the washing room opened up, the vast space and the brand new assortment of cleaning equipment made Zhang Peng couldn't help but exclaim, "This environment is amazing." He had been present during the cleaning the day before. The gap between the washing room provided by the Beast Master Association and Su-Ran's own washing room could be clearly felt, even by someone with no expertise like him. Speaking of which, you're the first customer of this washing room, Su-Ran said with a smile. You can summon your pet beast now. That is indeed an honor, Zhang Peng chuckled, and as he spoke, a hexagram star array flickered behind him, and amid the energy storm it raised, a snake almost 30 meters long appeared. It had greenish-purple scales all over its body. The pupils were erect with a clear zigzag in the middle, resembling lightning, giving it a less coldly serpentine air and more a sense of dominance and majesty. Chapter 582-307 Starfair Foster Care Shop in Bright Radiant City, Grand Opening. Chapter 582, Chapter 307 Starfair Foster Care Shop in Bright Radiant City, grand opening /. With its appearance, the grandeur of the general level surged within the washing and protection room. General Level Japanese symbol King species, green-eyed thunder snake. Hiss. As soon as it appeared, the green-eyed thunder snake lowered its head, which had been held high, and gazed at Su-ran. Yesterday, through sharing senses with the beast master, it had witnessed the transformation of its 3 companions at the hands of this man. Yet due to its body type, it had been unable to receive the same service. This had left the green-eyed thunder snake rather dissatisfied. Fortunately, it hadn't waited too long. Today, it would receive the same washing and protection service. At this thought, a glint of excitement flashed in the thunderbolt-like pupils of the green-eyed thunder snake. Humans, hurry up and wash me. Dujo, have you heard? A couple of days ago, the association organized a pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition. 2 people walking side by side on Bright Avenue. One of them bumped the other with his shoulder and asked cheerfully, "What? There was such a good thing and you didn't tell me." Dujo took a deep breath, and his expression instantly filled with grief. The pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition was only held for 2 days. It's already over, isn't it? I'm telling you now, aren't I? The person who had asked before laughed, patting Dujo on the shoulder. You're really timely with your news, Dujo huffed, shrugging off his hand. Enough, Zhang Peng, I'm going to be done with you for a day. Fine then, in that case, I just won't tell you the big news from last night's pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition, Zhang Peng replied with a shrug, a look of indifference on his face. As expected, Dujo took the bait. His ears perked up as he grabbed him. Quick, what's the big news? Hee, Zhang Peng chuckled. You would never guess who won the Cleaning Saint title in this pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition. Is it Du Kaiyan from 100 Flowers Foster Store, or Chu Ranran from Red Snow Foster Home, or Duan Yunchu from Sales Foster Home? Listing several well-known caretakers in Bright Radiant City in one breath, Dujo paused. I think Du Kaiyan is most likely, supporting my family member. After speaking, he glanced at Zhang Peng's expression and couldn't help frowning. Could it be none of them? Exactly. The one who got the Cleaning Saint title is a caretaker called Su-ran, Zhang Peng said, his head bobbing with pride as if he had been there himself. Su-ran? Never heard of him. Dujo felt even more puzzled upon hearing Zhang Peng's answer. Which foster shop's caretaker is he? This is the interesting part, Zhang Peng smiled. Su-ran isn't a caretaker from any foster shop here in Bright Radiant City right now. He's from out of town and will be opening his own foster shop here. The name of the foster shop is already decided. It's Starfair Foster Care Shop, Zhang Peng said, acting like he knew Su-ran well. In my opinion, the shop will open in no more than half a month at most. From out of town? No shop. Dujo mulled over the interesting tidbits Zhang Peng had shared and couldn't help asking for more. Any other interesting stories? Of course there are. Zhang Peng revealed an expression that said, You've asked the right person. You know that after the pet beast cleaning and caring exhibition, there's an award ceremony to give prizes to excellent caretakers, and to announce who obtained the Cleaning Saint title. Seems like that's the case, Dujo nodded. What about it? Su-ran obtained the Cleaning Saint title, but he did not appear at the award ceremony last night. Zhang Peng patted Dujo's shoulder. Guess why? I'm not guessing. Stop beating around the bush. Dujo raised an eyebrow, his eyes showing a hint of aggression. Hurry up, tell me. All right, I'll tell you. Zhang Peng raised his hands in surrender. The reason is that Su-ran still had customers he hadn't finished washing. He was caring for his customers and thus missed the award ceremony. By that time, the cleaning and caring exhibition had been over for more than an hour, and logically the customers who didn't make the queue weren't supposed to get free washing services. But Su-ran still washed all the queued customers for free before he left. Dujo's face showed a mix of surprise. Hearing you say this caretaker called Su-ran really seems dedicated. I'm thinking about taking my pet beast to him for a wash. Zhang Peng smiled smugly. Guess why I know so much about this? Because among the customers who didn't make the queue but were lucky to receive Su-ran services, there was me. Dujo. If looks could kill, he would have slain his insensitive friend. Relax. It seemed Dujo's glare made Zhang Peng a bit uneasy, so he quickly said soothingly, Just wait another 10 days or half a month. Perhaps Su-ran will open his foster shop by then, right? Wait a minute. Dujo stood still, pulling on Zhang Peng. You just said that Su Ran's foster shop isn't open yet, but the name is already decided. What's the name again? Starfare Foster Care Shop. Star as in star and fire as in flame. Then look over there. Dujo lifted a hand and pointed not far away. There, a grand and towering building stood at the most prominent position in the center of Bright Avenue, one of the landmarks on Bright Avenue. Chapter 583-307, Starfare Foster Care Shop in Bright Radiant City, Grand Opening. Chapter 583, Chapter 307, Starfare Foster Care Shop in Bright Radiant City, Grand Opening /. That was Dawn Building Number 1. Both were familiar with Dawn Building Number 1. After all, they could see it every time they went shopping and were already accustomed to it. In their memory, the door of Dawn Building Number 1 always bore a for sale sign, but for some reason, no one ever took over this well-situated building. Now, when both of their gazes turned to it, they quickly noticed the changes at Dawn Building Number 1. The for sale sign was gone, replaced by an extremely eye-catching plaque. The 5 characters on the plaque were written with the fluidity of a dragon and the vigor of a snake. Starfare Foster Care Shop. Holy crap! Zhang Peng couldn't help but open his mouth wide, his face a picture of shock. Just yesterday, Su Ran had been happily welcoming every washing and protection customer to his Starfare Foster Care Shop for future services, and today the shop was already open. And it was in the perpetually unclaimed Dawn Building Number 1. Seeing Dujo walking quickly towards the Starfare Foster Care Shop without saying a word, Zhang Peng snapped back to reality. Now was not the time to be dazed. Dujo, wait for me, he yelled, quickly catching up. I want to have my pet beast washed and protected too. The Washing and Protection Service exhibition offered free services for large pet beasts, but Zhang Peng had a pet beast that had reached the super large size category, which had not been washed and protected by Su Ran yesterday. Last night, Zhang Peng had comforted his pet beast for a while, swearing that as soon as Su Ran's shop opened, he would bring it in for a cleaning and caring service first thing. Only then did the pet beast, which felt neglected due to its large size, feel psychologically balanced again. Little did he know that the day to fulfill his promise would come so soon. Looking at the Grand Dawn Building Number 1, Zhang Peng's eyes filled with expectation. If the rooms provided by the organizers could wash and protect to such a degree, wouldn't doing it within the Dawn Building Number 1 take it a step further? Charge. Right, just there, don't move. Su Ran, with his hands raised above his head, stood on the head of Cancan, who had grown in size, carefully hanging the object in his hands in the most prominent spot within the shop. All done. Sitilda, it's finally done. Cancan slowly let its head sag down, waiting for Su Ran to jump off its head before shaking itself, reverting from the previously several meters tall stature to its pocket-sized form. Su Ran turned around, admiring the masterpiece he had just hung up. It was a streamer with the gold-pressed words, Cleaning Saint, and a line under it that read, signed by the Beast Master Association of Bright Radiant City. This streamer had been given to Su Ran early that morning by the Beast Master Association when he went to collect his unclaimed reward from the previous day. According to the association, this streamer was one of a kind temporarily loaned to him for 3 years. After 3 years, it had to be returned unless he became the Cleaning Saint again next time. PFF, how stingy. After admiring it for a while, Su Ran nodded contentedly. This spot is just right. Hello, is anyone here? The voice from outside brought Su Ran swiftly back to his senses. Yes, there is someone. He quickly switched on his warm smile and hurriedly went to greet the visitors. It truly lived up to the unbeatable location of Dawn Building Number 1. It was only the first day of business, and less than 10 minutes after opening, there were already customers at the door. This was unimaginable in the past. Soon, Su Ran saw the two who entered the shop. Sir, have we met last night? He recognized Zhang Peng at first glance from the cleaning service the night before and asked curiously. Haha, you cleaned and cared for my pet beast last night, Zhang Peng laughed. I have another one that hasn't been taken care of yet. Just happened to be passing by and saw your shop. Looks like I have to call you Boss Su now. Zhang Peng looked around. Boss Su, you sure opened your shop quickly. Strike while the iron is hot, Su Ran said with a smile, pointing to a wall nearby. This is the price list. Oh right, Zhang Peng finally found the price list and curiously started reading it. Yesterday, Su Ran's cleaning and caring was free. But today, it definitely wouldn't be free. Zhang Peng already had a lot of confidence in Su Ran's washing and protection skills. The only issue was Su Ran's pricing. He just hoped that Su Ran wouldn't set the prices too high just because he had just won the title of cleaning saint. 266,666 for a single washing and protection service for a super large pet beast. Seeing this price, Zhang Peng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. The price was double that of the highest price in Bright Radiant City, but thinking of the effects of Su Ran's cleaning and caring yesterday, he was still quite tempted. If the effects were as good as yesterday's, then doubling the price might just be worth it. On the other hand, Du Zhou, who hadn't experienced Su Ran's cleaning and caring service, was a bit troubled. This price is a bit expensive, isn't it? Indeed, there would be people who questioned the pricing of the shop's services. Su Ran had already anticipated this and cleared his throat, ready to speak, but Zhang Peng beat him to it. Expensive? Then I'll go first, Zhang Peng chuckled, drawing his good brother closer. After I'm done, you'll see the results and won't find it expensive anymore. Well, a perfectly reasonable excuse to jump the queue, no problem there. Okay, Du Zhou agreed without any hesitation. With Zhang Peng going first to try it out, he would be able to clearly see if the money was well spent. If it seemed not worth it, he would rather go to another cleaning and caring shop. Then Boss Su, let's go, Zhang Peng urged, unable to hide his impatience. Please, this way, Su Ran said with a smile, gesturing towards the cleaning and protection room. The pet beast you want cleaned and cared for is a super large size, right? You can summon it inside. Sure, Zhang Peng followed closely behind Su Ran, heading to the cleaning and protection room. As the door to the cleaning and protection room opened, the vast space and all the brand new washing equipment made Zhang Peng couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. This environment is really great. It was also present for yesterday's cleaning and caring session. Even as a layman, he could clearly feel the difference between the cleaning room provided by the Beast Master Association and Su Ran's own cleaning and protection room. By the way, you are the first customer of this cleaning and protection room, Su Ran said with a smile. You can summon your pet beast now. That's quite an honor for me, Zhang Peng chuckled, and as he spoke, a hexagram star array flickered behind him, and amidst the ensuing energy storm, a giant serpent nearly 30 meters long appeared. Its body was covered in bluish-purple scales, with pupils that had a distinct double kink in the middle, making them look like thunderbolts, which took away some of the cold temperament usually associated with snake pet beasts and added a bit of dominance and grandeur instead. With its appearance, the aura of a general-level king species reverberated throughout the room. General-level king species, green-eyed thunder snake. Hiss. As soon as it appeared, the green-eyed thunder snake lowered its head from a raised position to look at Su Ran. Yesterday, through sharing senses with its beast master, it watched as its 3 other companions were refurbished under the hands of this man. It, however, couldn't receive the same treatment due to its size. This left the green-eyed thunder snake particularly dissatisfied. Fortunately, it didn't have to wait too long. Today, it could finally receive the same cleaning and protection service. At this thought, a sense of excitement emerged in the thunderbolt-like pupils of the green-eyed thunder snake. Human, come clean me. Chapter 584-308, a building with inherent lucky fish attribute. Chapter 584, Chapter 308, a building with inherent lucky fish attribute. The koi property is a concept both profound and enigmatic. It may only affect a certain individual or type of people, or it could bring good luck to everyone. However, people with this attribute don't have the words, "I am a koi," written on their foreheads, making it tough to judge its true existence directly. To determine whether someone was his koi, Su Ran had a simple and crude method, which was to see if he could continuously acquire the highest level skills available from plucking fur. This method had proven successful time and again in the past. Back in Kingju City, Su Ran's plucking fur had just upgraded from D level to C level, and the highest skill he could obtain had evolved from 1 star to 2 stars. At that time, Liu Gu, who obtained 2-star skills in succession, became his first koi. By the time he arrived in Xi'an City, Su Ran's plucking fur had been upgraded to B level, capable of obtaining 3-star skills. It was in the same manner that he discovered the koi property of the Qin family's brother and sister. Regrettably, he did not encounter such people later in Monster Wooden City. Now, having arrived in Bright Radiant City, things seemed to have changed. The koi girl Chu Yue he met the day before was only an elite-level beast master. She did not own a king species pet beast, and it was impossible to obtain a 3-star skill from her pet beast through plucking fur, so her koi property manifested in another way, acquiring 2 2-star skills at once. Today, Su Ran met a beast master who, in succession, managed to pluck 4 3-star skills, but he was not a koi, with a 10 streak and no purples. Plus, the green-eyed thunder snake that he just took care of had also gained a 3-star skill. Su Ran stood still, slightly tilting his head up to gaze at the ceiling. So could there be a possibility? The ones with the koi property weren't the 2 clients before him, but this building itself. Boss Su, we've paid in full and are leaving. Hearing Zhang Peng's voice, Su Ran snapped back to reality. Seeing Du Zhou and Zhang Peng standing at the door with their pet beasts looking as good as new, eager to stroll on the streets, Su Ran nodded, "Take care." After the 2 had left, Su Ran returned to the counter, tapping it lightly with his fingers, his face revealing a look of anticipation. He wanted to see how the next client would perform. His wait did not last long. Perhaps because Du Zhou and Zhang Peng's pet beasts were too eye-catching, it wasn't long before someone arrived, motivated by curiosity. "Boss, was that very large thunder attribute snake pet beast groomed by you?" It was me. Su Ran stood up and looked at the newcomer. She was a short-haired female beast master. Her delicate features carried a hint of sharpness. Behind her was a slender, cherry blossom-colored snake pet beast. Compared to the green-eyed thunder snake that was nearly 30 meters long, the creature in front of him was much smaller. Its length was no more than 10 meters, and its body was considerably leaner. Taking her question when she entered as a clue, Su Ran could guess her intention. "Do you want to have your pet beast cleaned and cared for?" The short-haired woman nodded. "How much does it cost?" "Price menu is over there." "Let me see." Following Su Ran's direction, the woman quickly saw the price menu hanging on the opposite wall. Large pet beasts, 66,666 yuan for 1 session. She frowned slightly, clearly finding it a bit expensive, but the astounding sight of the green-eyed thunder snake made her tempted to try. "Hissed Tilda." The snake pet beast behind her hissed, seemingly reminding its beast master of something. The woman quickly looked up, following her pet beast's gaze, and soon noticed the banner hanging high on the wall. "Cleaning Saint." Surprise was clear in the short-haired woman's eyes. If it was the work of the cleaning saint, the price seemed more acceptable. Taking a deep breath, she made her decision. "Please groom my little Sakura." "No problem." Su Ran nodded with a smile while he activated the system identification. This cherry blossom-colored snake was something he had not seen before. It was time to check the species. Race name, Yingluo flower snake. Attribute, super ability. Growth stage, leadership stay. Body type, large size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. Contrary to its cold and fierce stereotype, this is a snake pet beast known for its agility, cuteness, and high attractiveness. The host is expected to use his skillful hands to reveal its unknown side. Reveal what the hell? Su Ran's lips twitched slightly, then he looked at the short-haired woman's pet beast. Yingluo flower snake. Just as described by the system identification, this snake pet beast was entirely different from the green-eyed thunder snake they had earlier. Its slender body gave it a distinctive elegance, and the cherry blossom-colored scales elevated its appearance to a new level. Through perception, Su Ran could feel that, although the Yingluo flower snake was only at the leader stage, it was also a king species. It was perfect for testing his recent speculation. "Please follow me." Su Ran made a pleased gesture and led the way into the grooming room. "Let's go, little Sakura," the short-haired woman spoke softly, a hint of expectation in her eyes, and followed with the Yingluo flower snake close behind her. Once the door to the grooming room closed again, the 3 small pets exchanged looks and couldn't help but start whispering to one another. "Chirp Tilda, just like 12, it's of the super ability too." Can propped its head with one paw, speaking with interest. Chapter 585 308, a building with its own lucky fish attribute. Chapter 585, Chapter 308, a building with its own lucky fish attribute, /. Meow Tilda, it's nowhere near as fun as number 12. Xian shook her head with indifference. Every time it saw the plump number 12, it couldn't resist the urge to pounce and play, but it had zero interest in this long fellow. Thinking of number 12, Xian's paws involuntarily twitched. Time-wise, it had been more than half a month since they'd parted. Yet it always felt like it had been much longer. Xilu Tilda, we will bring it back. Star seemed to understand Xian's thoughts and slowly opened its eyes with a hiss. Meow Tilda, that's a must. Xian's paw slightly arched, sharp claw edge protruding from the pad, with a bit more sharpness in its eyes. It was close, very close. Once it obtained the extinct thunder attraction and met the other evolution conditions, it would evolve for the second time immediately. Once evolved, it would definitely reclaim its little pillow. While the trio communicated, a strange hissing began to emanate faintly from the washing and protection room. Hearing the noise, all three looked as if they were watching a good drama unfold. Fourth stage contract power allowed the beast master and the pet beast to temporarily share senses. So even without entering the washing and protection room, they could watch the whole process through Su Ran's eyes. Watching the delicate and gentle Yingluo flower snake uncontrollably writhing in Su Ran's hands, the expressions of the three pets grew increasingly peculiar. Meow Tilda stopped looking. Xian raised a paw and smacked Cancan next to it. You not understand what is meant by not suitable for young pets. Cancan, who was smacked out of the blue, looked aggrieved and cut off the shared connection. Why, what's wrong? Young pets need to grow too. You know how much psychological shadow such a smack might cast on a 3-month-old baby that's 300 meters long. Welcome back anytime, Tilda. Standing outside the shop, Su Ran sent off the short-haired woman with a smile who was satisfied with her visit. Behind her, the appearance of the Yingluo flower snake had undergone a transformative change from when it arrived. Every thin, semi-transparent scale had been meticulously washed and polished by Su Ran, shimmering under the sunlight with a bright and lustrous sheen, the cherry-pink gradient appearing vivid and distinct, as if flower petals had settled upon its body. The already very good-looking creature, after a round in Su Ran's hands, now possessed a certain charm almost magical enough to bewitch all living beings. Perfect for the super ability attribute it naturally excelled in, skills like illusions and charm, complementing each other. Boss Su, your washing and protection skills are really amazing. The short-haired woman's skepticism upon arrival was gone, replaced by the demeanor of a devoted fan after the service. I'll recommend your shop to my friends. Then I couldn't be more grateful. Su Ran waved at the short-haired woman with a smile, his already great mood getting even better. When the woman's figure disappeared from sight, Su Ran's gaze swept over the system panel. A brand new skill had been added to the system panel. Bewildered Heart Branding. This new skill originated from the Yingluo flower snake that just left. It could silently implant a controlling brand on an opponent, triggering it when needed to briefly control the opponent's actions. The duration of control depended on the power gap between the sides, and the brand would disappear automatically after activation. Even among the elusive and varied super ability attribute skills, this one stood out as particularly rare and unique. The previous 5 3-star skills Su Ran had acquired were broken down into skill fragments, including the thunder attribute skills gained from the green-eyed thunder snake, as they didn't suit Xian. This skill, however, could be kept for number 12's use in the future. And Su Ran's good mood wasn't just because he got a nice new skill, it also almost confirmed a theory he had. Who says only humans can have the lucky fish property. Su Ran stood in his shop and casually tried a 10 consecutive draw, then his face fell. Another 10 consecutive draw without purple. It seemed his theory still needed further verification. Is this the cleaning saint, Mr. Su Ran's foster shop? Yes, that's right. Hearing the inquiry outside, Su Ran swiftly turned around, instantly putting on an enthusiastic smile. Welcome. Time flew by in the bustling business. In the blink of an eye, the first day of operations at the Starfare Foster shop in Bright Radiant City came to an end. Compared to the first day's business of the past 3 branches, the Bright Radiant City branch was like hitting the jackpot right at the start, already hosting more than a dozen customers. Although they all came for the washing and protection service and didn't try other services, it was enough for Su Ran. Moreover, through one day's trial, Su Ran refined his theory. As he suspected, the Dawn Building No. 1 indeed came with the Koi property. The Koi property is an unfathomable concept. It might only affect a specific person or type of person, or it might bring good luck to everyone. However, there's no, I am a lucky fish, sign floating above the head of someone with this property, making it difficult to ascertain its existence directly. Suran had a brutally simple way to judge whether someone had his lucky fish, which was whether he could repeatedly obtain the highest possible skills to pluck from them. This method had been unfailingly effective in the past. Chapter 586-308, A Building with Its Own Koi Property. Chapter 586, Chapter 308, A Building with Its Own Koi Property, /. Back in Kingju City, Su Ran's plucking fur had just been upgraded from D level to C level, with the highest obtainable skills going from 1 star to 2 stars, and Liu Gu, who had successively acquired 2-star skills, became his first lucky fish. By the time he got to Xi'an City, Su Ran's plucking fur had been promoted to B level, and the highest skill he could obtain had become a 3-star skill. It was also by the same method that he discovered the koi property of the Qin family's brother and sister. Unfortunately, later in Monster Wooden City, Su Ran failed to meet such a person. Now, however, upon arriving in Bright Radiant City, it seemed as though the situation had changed slightly. The lucky fish girl Chu Yue he met the day before yesterday was just an elite-level beast master. She did not possess a king species pet beast, nor could she obtain a 3-star skill through the plucking fur from her pet beast, so her koi property manifested in another way, acquiring 2 2-star skills at once. Just today, Su Ran encountered a beast master who had plucked 4 3-star skills in a row, but the other party wasn't a lucky fish, with 10 consecutive tries and no purple. Adding on to that, the green-eyed thunder snake that had just been washed and protected also acquired a 3-star skill. Su Ran stopped in his tracks, slightly lifting his head to look at the ceiling. Could there be a possibility that the one with the koi property is not the 2 customers in front of him, but this building itself? "Boss Su, we've paid, so we're leaving now." Zhang Peng's voice brought Su Ran back to his senses. Looking at Du Zhou and Zhang Peng, who were already standing at the shop door with their pet beasts looking brand new, eager to stroll down the streets, Su Ran nodded, "Take care." Once the 2 had left, Su Ran returned behind the counter, gently tapping it with his fingers, his face showing a look of anticipation. He was curious to see how the next customer would perform. And his wait did not last long. Perhaps due to Du Zhou and Zhang Peng's pet beasts being too eye-catching, it was only a few minutes before someone came asking, "Boss, was that very large thunder attribute snake pet beast washed and protected by you?" "It was I." Su Ran stood up and looked at the newcomer. She was a short-haired female beast master with gentle features, yet a hint of fierceness in her eyes, followed by a slender cherry-pink snake pet beast. Compared to the nearly 30-meter-long green-eyed thunder snake, the pet beast in front of her was much smaller, less than 10 meters in length, and noticeably more delicate. Combining her question upon entry and Su Ran's guesses about her intentions, he asked, "You want to get your pet beast washed and protected?" "Yes," the short-haired woman nodded. "How much does it cost?" "The price menu is over there." "Let me see." Following Su Ran's instructions, the short-haired woman quickly saw the price menu hanging on the wall opposite. Large pet beast washing and protection for 66,666 yuan a time. She slightly frowned, evidently finding it somewhat expensive, but recalling the stunning sight of the green-eyed thunder snake, she felt tempted to give it a try. SSS tilde. The snake pet beast behind her hissed, seemingly reminding its beast master about something. The short-haired woman quickly looked up following the pet beast's gaze, and soon spotted the banner hanging high on the wall. "Cleaning Saint." There was unmistakable astonishment in the short-haired woman's eyes. If it were the Cleaning Saint, then such a price might be acceptable. She took a deep breath and made her decision. "Please clean and protect my Xiao Ying." "No problem," Su Ran said with a smile, nodding and at the same time, initiating the system identification. This cherry-pink snake was something he had never seen before. He was quite curious to find out its race name. Race name, Yingluo flower snake. Attribute, super ability. Growth stage, leadership stay. Body type, large size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. Far from the cold and fierce stereotypes, this is a snake pet beast known for its agility, cuteness, and high attractiveness. It looks forward to the host revealing its undisclosed side with adept hands. Developed, what the hell? Su Ran's mouth twitched slightly, then he looked at the short-haired woman's pet beast. Yingluo flower snake. As described in the system identification, This snake pet beast vastly differed from the green-eyed thunder snake seen before, its slender body granting it a unique grace, and the cherry-pink scales added another level to its aesthetics. Through perception, Su Ran could feel that, although the Yingluo flower snake was merely at the leadership stage, it was also a member of the king species. Perfect, he could test his recent conjecture with it. Please follow me. Su Ran gestured an invitation and then led the way into the washing and protection room. Let's go, Xiao Ying, the short-haired woman softly spoke, a glimmer of expectancy in her eyes as she followed with the Yingluo flower snake. As the doors to the washing and protection room closed once more, the three little ones inside exchanged glances, whispering among themselves. Cheer, it's super ability attribute just like 12 tilde. Can propped its head with one paw, expressing interest aloud. Meow tilde, it's nothing compared to 12. Xian shook its head with indifference. The sight of the round 12 always inspired it to grab hold and play. In front of this elongated creature, it had no interest whatsoever. Thinking of 12, Xian couldn't help but move its paws restlessly. Counting the days, it had been more than half a month since they had parted. Yet it felt as if they had been apart for a very long time. Xilu tilde, we will bring it back. Seemingly understanding Xian's thoughts, Star opened its eyes slowly, hissing softly. Chapter 587 308, A Building with Its Own Koi Property. Chapter 587, Chapter 308, A Building with Its Own Koi Property, / Meow tilde, of course. Xian's paws slightly arched, sharp claw edges popping out from the pads, eyes gleaming with a few more slices of sharpness. It was close, so very close. Once it acquired the extinct thunder attraction and met the other evolution conditions, it would immediately undergo its second evolution. After successfully evolving, it would definitely reclaim its little cushion. As the three little ones communicated, strange hissing sounds started to faintly emanate from within the washing and protection room. Hearing that noise, the three little ones simultaneously showed an expression of watching an interesting show. Fourth stage contract power could allow the beast master and pet beast to temporarily share senses. Therefore, even without entering the washing and protection room, they could watch the entire washing process through Su Ran's eyes. Watching the delicate and gentle Yingluo flower snake uncontrollably writhing in Su Ran's hands, the expressions of the three little ones also became increasingly bizarre. Meow tilde, stop looking. Xian raised its paw and gave Can a slap on the side. Don't you understand what not suitable for young creatures means? Can, who was unjustly slapped, wore an aggrieved expression and cut off the shared senses. Look what happened. Young creatures need to grow too. You have any idea how traumatic that slap was for a 3-month-old baby creature that's 300 meters long? Welcome to visit again, tilde. Standing outside the shop, Su Ran smiled as he bid farewell to the short-haired woman who was leaving satisfied. Behind her, the appearance of the Yingluo flower snake had undergone an earth-shattering transformation from the time of arrival. Each of its thin and semi-transparent scales were meticulously polished by Su Ran, sparkling with a bright and lustrous sheen under the sunlight. The gradient cherry-pink colors appeared vivid and distinct, as if petals had fallen on its body. The already high-valued snake, after being handled by Su Ran, now possessed a magic capable of fascinating all living creatures. Well, aptly, as a super ability attribute creature, it was skilled in illusion and charm-type skills, and this complemented it well. Boss Su, your washing and protection skills are truly amazing. The short-haired woman was no longer dubious as she had been upon arrival. After experiencing the washing session, she had become a loyal fan of Su Ran. I'll recommend your shop to my friends. Then I'm even more grateful. Su Ran smiled and waved to the short-haired woman, his already great mood getting even better. Once the woman had disappeared from view, Su Ran's gaze swept over the system panel. On the system panel, there was a new skill. Bewildered Heart Branding, not teachable. This new skill originated from the Yingluo flower snake he had just handled. It could silently embed a controlling brand on an opponent and trigger it when necessary, briefly controlling the opponent's actions. The duration of the control depended on the power gap between the two parties, and after activating once, the brand would automatically disappear. Even among the elusive super ability attribute skills, this one could be considered quite rare and special. The 5 3-star skills he had acquired earlier had all been dismantled into skill fragments by Su Ran, including the thunder attribute skills acquired from the green-eyed thunder snake, as they were not a good fit for Xian. But this skill could be kept for use by 10 in the future. The reason for Su Ran's good mood wasn't just because he had acquired a nice new skill, but also because he had obtained another 3-star skill, which almost confirmed a suspicion in his heart. Who says only humans can have the lucky fish property? Su Ran stood in the shop, carelessly performed 10 consecutive draws, then his expression fell. Another 10 draws without a purple. It seemed that this speculation still needed further verification. Is this cleaning saint Mr. Su Ran's foster shop? Yes, that's right. Hearing the inquiry from outside the shop, Su Ran quickly turned around and put on a warm smile. Welcome. Time flew by as the business thrived enthusiastically. In the blink of an eye, the first day of the Starfair foster care shop in Bright Radiant City came to an end. Compared to the first day's business at the 3 other branches, Bright Radiant City's branch could be described as a wildly lucky start, having welcomed over a dozen walk-in customers on its first day. Although they all came for the washing and protection service and did not try other services, for Su Ran, this was already enough. In addition, through a day of experimentation, Su Ran had gradually perfected his hypothesis. Just as he suspected, this dawn building no one did indeed possess the lucky fish property. Meow Tilda stopped looking. Xian lifted a paw and gave Kankan, who was beside her, a slap. Don't you know what's meant by young beasts shouldn't watch? Kankan, perplexed by the sudden slap, wore a face full of grievance as she cut off the shared connection. What's the matter? Young beasts need to grow too. You realize how much of a mental shadow this slap could cast on a 3-month-old baby beast that's 300 meters long. Welcome to come again, Tilda. Standing at the shop's entrance, Su Ran smiled and bid farewell to the satisfied short-haired woman who was leaving. Behind her, the appearance of the Yingluo flower snake had undergone an earth-shattering transformation from when it arrived. Each of its delicate, semi-transparent scales had been meticulously polished and cleaned by Su, now shimmering in the sunlight with a bright and lustrous sheen, its gradient cherry-pink color as vivid and clear as if petals had fallen upon its body. The already attractive creature, having been treated by Su Ran, had acquired a seductive magic that appealed to all living beings. Fittingly, as a creature with super ability attribute, it was adept at illusion and charm type skills. This treatment complemented its natural talents. Boss Su, your washing and protection skills are really top-notch. The short-haired woman, no longer as skeptical as when she arrived, had become a loyal fan after experiencing the grooming. I will recommend your shop to my friends. Then I'm even more grateful. Su Ran waved to the short-haired woman with a smile, his already excellent mood becoming even better. As the woman disappeared from sight, Su Ran glanced over the system panel. On the system panel, there was a new skill. Bewildered Heart Branding, Non-Teachable. This new skill originated from the recently treated Yingluo flower snake. It could silently implant a brand of control on an opponent that could be triggered when needed, briefly controlling the target's actions. The duration of control depended on the power difference between the two parties, and after being activated once, the branding would automatically disappear. Even amongst the elusive super ability attribute skills, this skill was considered quite rare and special. The 5 3-star skills previously acquired had all been decomposed by Su Ran into skill fragments, including the thunder attribute skills obtained from the green-eyed thunder snake, because they were not compatible with Xian. This skill, however, could be kept for future use by 12. The real reason for Su Ran's good mood wasn't just the acquisition of a decent new skill, but also because obtaining another 3-star skill had almost confirmed his speculation. Who says that only humans can possess the lucky fish property? Su Ran stood in the middle of the shop, took a chance with a 10 pull, and then his expression fell. Another 10 pull without a single purple. It seemed that his hypothesis still required further verification. Is this Mr. Su Ran's Starfair foster shop known as Cleaning Saint? Yes, this is the place. Upon hearing the inquiry outside the store, Su Ran quickly turned around, immediately putting on an enthusiastic smile. Welcome to visit Tilda. Time flew by in a bustling business operation. In the blink of an eye, the first day of business at Bright Radiant City's Starfair foster care shop came to an end. Compared to the first day's business at the 3 other branches, Bright Radiant City's branch could be described as a wildly lucky start, having welcomed over a dozen walk-in customers on its first day. Although they all came for the washing and protection service and did not try other services, for Su Ran, this was already enough. In addition, through a day of experimentation, Su Ran had gradually perfected his hypothesis. Just as he suspected, this dawn building no one did indeed possess the Lucky Fish property. Chapter 588-309, Du Kaiyan's Visit, a rare washing and protection subject. Chapter 588, Chapter 309, Du Kaiyan's Visit, a rare washing and protection subject. Welcome to Visit Again Tilda. With the support from the association, the business on the second day after the opening exceeded Su Ran's imagination by a wide margin. Having seen off another satisfied customer, even Su Ran, with his strong physique, began to feel a hint of fatigue. Looking at the long line of customers still waiting outside the shop, he knew it was time to summon Star. Soon a clear and fervent neigh resounded throughout the shop. Star, having had its rest and fully rejuvenated, immediately linked with Su Ran through the destiny chain, transferring its power to him to dispel his exhaustion. Hard work, Su Ran said with a smile as he patted its head. The business is so good today, we might need your help a few more times. Xilu Tilda, no problem. Star neighed, shaking its head, and settled next to the counter in the open space. Xian and Cancan, who were awakened by the summoning commotion, quickly appeared in the shop as well, watching with interest as Su Ran greeted the next customer. Seeing the long line outside the shop, the three creatures couldn't help but whisper to each other. Meow, why is the business so good today? Chirp Tilda, don't know. Xilu Tilda, anyway, good business is a good thing. Meow, right, this way we can summon more staff faster to share Su Ran's workload. While the three little ones were exchanging words, Su Ran efficiently finished the washing and protection task for this customer, and after seeing him out of the shop, gestured for the next customer to come in. Soon, a young figure entered the shop. It was a handsome man, who appeared to be in his early 20s, with a habitual smile on his face that gave off a feeling of a spring breeze. What attracted the most attention were his hands. The man's hands were white and smooth, with very faint lines and well-defined, slender joints that were particularly eye-catching. Hello, what pet beast do you need washing and protection for? Su Ran couldn't help but give the man a few glances before casually asking. My name is Du Kaiyan, the man said with a smile, suddenly introducing himself. Su Ran was momentarily taken aback, then revisited his assessment of the man. Of course, he had not forgotten that at the Pet Beast Washing and Protection exhibition, a caretaker from the 100 Flowers foster store named Du Kaiyan had taken the initiative to direct traffic to him, helping him quickly overcome the initial embarrassment of having no customers. Ms. Du Huyen is your. She's my older sister, Du Kaiyan said with a smile, his face showing a hint of pride. Clearly, he held a deep admiration for his sister, who had even greater washing and protection skills. I thought so. Su Ran revealed a look of realization and enthusiastically shook his hand. I'm really grateful for your help at the exhibition. It's a small matter, Du Kaiyan shook his head slightly. My sister mentioned your washing techniques in her letter. She believes they are the most magical she has ever seen. Even though I have not witnessed them myself, I trust her judgment. A caretaker like you should not be obscured by an out-of-the-way location. And I believe, even without my little help, the title Cleaning Saint would still have been yours. In the midst of their conversation, Du Kaiyan looked up at the pennant on the wall with a hint of yearning in his eyes. The flag is great. I'll bring out a better performance in 3 years to take it from you. Ha ha ha, agreed, Su Ran laughed heartily. After a brief exchange, he felt a considerable sense of kinship with the young caretaker standing before him, who was even younger than himself. I suppose you are here today for something more than just a chat, right? Indeed, I have specially reserved an hour of washing and protection appointment time, and it's not for chatting, Du Kaiyan nodded appreciatively. If possible, I would like to observe the process of you washing and caring for other customers' pets. Rest assured, I'll keep quiet and won't interfere with your business. Of course, that's not a problem, Su Ran nodded without a moment's hesitation, and we could even discuss techniques if the customers agree. That would be wonderful, Du Kaiyan's eyes lit up. Every caretaker has key points in their washing technique. Just by watching with the naked eye, even someone with as good washing skills as Du Kaiyan would find it hard to fully comprehend these key points. But conversation changes everything. Shall I go call in the next customer? Please. Dukayan made a welcoming gesture, retreated to a corner of the shop, smiled kindly at the three curious little creatures looking over, and then turned his attention towards the shop entrance. Shortly after, Su-ran came back with a muscular man in tow. "Sir, which pet beast of yours requires washing and caring?" Su-ran asked with a polite smile. "This one." Behind the big man, the hexagram star array flickered, and soon, a bird pet beast with two heads and a body engulfed in crimson flames cried shrilly as it burst out of the windstorm. With its arrival, the temperature inside the shop also started to climb rapidly. Race name: double-headed flame crow. Attribute: fire. Growth stage: general level. Body type: medium. Washing and protection requirement. Review: this special individual with two heads holding different consciousnesses could potentially provide double the pleasure value when cared for. After glancing at the system's rather serious evaluation, a rich smile spread across Su-ran's face. "If you're saying this, then I'm really gearing up now." In the realm of transcendent beings, those with multiple consciousnesses are relatively rare. Su-ran had heard of a few, but had never cared for one until now. Chapter 589-309, Dukayan's Visit, a rare washing and protection subject. Chapter 589, Chapter 309, Dukayan's Visit, a rare washing and protection subject / This experience was a first for him. Behind Su-ran, Dukayan, who had remained silent, also showed a hint of surprise on his face. He, too, had recognized the double-headed flame crow at the same time. However, unlike Su-ran, he was not completely unfamiliar with this particular double-headed flame crow, because it happened to have undergone washing and protection at his place once. This double-headed flame crow had some differences from the normal ones. Normally, even though double-headed flame crows have two distinct consciousnesses, these consciousnesses are like twin brothers, very compatible with each other, and they coordinate well, rarely conflicting or quarreling. But this double-headed flame crow's two consciousnesses often conflicted and lacked understanding with each other. Such anomalies could also affect the washing and protection process. What one consciousness prefers in terms of washing and protection might not necessarily be liked by the other, and vice versa. He still remembered the effort it took to wash and protect this double-headed flame crow. It had taken the strength of 9 bulls and 2 tigers, and in the end, his sister had to step in and lend a hand for it to be successfully completed. Although it had already been a year since then, and he was not as skilled as he was now, Dukayan still felt somewhat hung up about it. Glancing at Su-ran, who was preparing to take on the washing and protection work for the double-headed flame crow, Dukayan hesitated for a moment but ultimately couldn't help but speak up, that the two consciousnesses in this double-headed flame crow might have some conflicts. Su-ran looked at Dukayan in surprise, and then carefully observed the double-headed flame crow. Thanks to Dukayan's reminder, he quickly noticed that the two heads bathed in the light of fire indeed seemed to have some hostility towards each other, sharing a body but not getting along. Su-ran's expression turned somewhat curious. "So Du-chi is here too." Hearing Dukayan's voice, the big man only then realized there was a third person in the store. He wasn't angry about Dukayan pointing out his pet beast's problem, just smiled and said, "Since Du-chi has already mentioned it, I won't hide it. Indeed, my double-headed flame crow had a little accident during its evolution, resulting in poor coordination between the two consciousnesses, often leading to conflict." At this point, the big man also showed a bit of helplessness. Often during washing and protection, one consciousness feels comfortable while the other gets restless. This has caused the washing and protection to often end prematurely, and I've almost been blacklisted by the caretakers. The big man spread his hands. "I heard you are the new cleaning saint, and decided to try bringing them here." Understood. Su-ran sent a look of gratitude towards Dukayan. If Dukayan hadn't reminded him, this client probably wouldn't have honestly disclosed these details. As a result, washing and protecting this double-headed flame crow would undoubtedly add a lot of difficulty. But it sounded quite interesting. "Sir, this is the situation." Su-ran began slowly. "Du-chi and I are having an exchange about washing and protection. Would you mind if we used your pet beast as a case study for our professional exchange?" The big man hesitated for a moment, then nodded, "Okay." He hadn't taken the initiative to explain his pet beast's problem at first, which was certainly his fault. But the big man wasn't trying to give Su-ran a hard time. He was just worried that Su Ran would refuse to wash and protect his pet beast if he spoke up. With some guilt in his heart, it was naturally hard for him to refuse Su Ran's request. Moreover, having Du Kaiyan, who had previously washed and protected the double-headed flame crow, there might make the result of Su Ran's washing and protection even better. Thank you for your generosity. Du Kaiyan's smile blossomed as he nodded in appreciation to the big man. Without a doubt, such a rare washing and protection case held extremely high value for exchange. Follow me. Having agreed on the arrangement, Su Ran gestured for the double-headed flame crow to follow him into the washing and protection room. Go. One of the heads of the double-headed flame crow showed an excited and expectant look, quickly stretching towards Su Ran, as if wanting to follow him into the washing and protection room. However, the other head twisted towards the direction outside the washing and protection room, appearing somewhat reluctant, as if unenthusiastic about being washed and protected. Without the cooperation of its sibling, the double-headed flame crow's flying became stiff and unnatural. Seeing its sibling not cooperating even for washing and protection, the first head became angry. It glared fiercely at the second head and let out a series of shrill cries, sounding as if it were swearing. The second head wasn't one to be bullied, responding with equally harsh cries. Before even entering the washing and protection room, the two had already begun to argue again. Stop arguing and enter the washing and protection room. In the end, it was the big man's stern command that made the two heads of the double-headed flame crow temporarily cease their dispute, and the second head stopped being stubborn, obediently cooperating with the first head and flying towards the washing and protection room. Standing at the entrance of the washing and protection room, Su Ran watched this scene unfold, suddenly feeling less confident about the washing and protection he was about to undertake. Earning double, the pleasure value seemed a little challenging. Welcome back again, Tilda. With the help of the association, the business on the second day of opening was much busier than Su Ran had imagined. After seeing off another satisfied customer, even someone with Su Ran's physical endurance began to feel a touch of fatigue. Looking at the long queue still outside the store, he knew it was time to summon Star. Chapter 590-309, Du Kaiyan's Visit, a rare washing and protection subject. Chapter 590, Chapter 309, Du Kaiyan's Visit, a rare washing and protection subject /. Shortly after, a clear and fervent neighing echoed throughout the store. Having had a good rest and refreshed, Star quickly used the destiny chain to connect with Su Ran, transferring his own power to him to alleviate his fatigue. You've worked hard, Su Ran said with a smile as he patted its head. Today business is booming, so we might need your help a few more times. Xilu Tilda, no problem. Star neighed, shaking its head and taking its place next to the counter. Aroused by the summoning noise, Xian and Kankan quickly appeared in the store as well, curiously watching Su Ran attend to the next customer. Looking at the long line outside the store, the three little creatures couldn't help whispering to each other. Meow, why is the business so good today? Cha Tilda don't know. Xilu Tilda, anyway, good business is a good thing. Meow, that's right, this way we can summon more staff sooner to share Su Ran's workload. As the three little ones chatted, Su Ran efficiently finished washing and caring for the customer, and after seeing them out, signaled for the next one to come in. Soon after, a young figure entered the store. He was a handsome man, looking to be just over 20, with a habitual smile on his face that gave off a spring breeze feeling. Most striking, however, were his hands. The man's hands were white and smooth, his palm lines very faint, and his fingers well-defined and slender, drawing the eye. Hello, what kind of pet beast do you need grooming for? Su Ran couldn't help but take a few extra glances at the man before casually asking. My name is Du Kaiyan, the man said with a smile, suddenly introducing himself. Su Ran blinked in slight surprise and then took a closer look at him. Of course, he hadn't forgotten that at the Pet Beast Cleaning and Caring exhibition, a caretaker named Du Kaiyan from 100 Flowers Foster Store had taken the initiative to redirect customers to him, helping him overcome the embarrassing situation of having no clients at first. Ms. Du Huyen is your. She's my elder sister, Du Kaiyan said with a smile, pride coloring his face. Clearly, he held deep admiration for his sister, whose cleaning skills were superior to his own. I thought as much, Su Ran said, revealing an enlightened smile and warmly shaking Du Kaiyan's hand. I really appreciate your help at the exhibition. It was nothing, Du Kaiyan shook his head slightly. My sister mentioned your grooming technique in a letter. She believes yours is the most miraculous she has ever seen. Even though I have never witnessed it myself, I trust her judgment. A caretaker like you shouldn't be obscured by a remote location. Moreover, I believe that even without my little help, the title of cleaning saint would still have been yours. During the conversation, Du Kaiyan looked up at the banner on the wall, his eyes filled with longing. The banner is nice. I will put up an even better performance in 3 years and take it. Ha ha ha, good, Su Ran laughed heartily. After a brief exchange, he felt a strong connection with the young caretaker in front of him. I reckon your visit today isn't just for a casual chat, right? Indeed, I've specifically set aside an hour for a grooming appointment, and it's not to chat. Du Kaiyan nodded in agreement. If possible, I would like to observe you as you cater to other clients. Don't worry, I will keep quiet and won't disrupt your business. Of course, that's no problem at all, Su Ran nodded without hesitation. We can even have some technical exchanges if the clients agree. That would be really great, a spark of excitement shone in Du Kaiyan's eyes. Every caretaker's technique has its critical points. Just by observing with the naked eye, and despite already having a pretty good technique, it was difficult for Du Kaiyan to completely grasp those key aspects. But with an exchange, it would be different. Shall I call the next client then? Please. Du Kaiyan gestured for Su Ran to proceed and retreated to a corner of the store, smiling friendlily at the 3 little ones who were curiously peeking over, then turned to look outside the store. Soon, Su Ran led a burly man into the store. Sir, what pet beast do you need groomed? Su Ran asked politely with a smile. It's this one. Behind the burly man, the hexagram star array flickered, and promptly, a bird pet beast with 2 heads and its body ablaze with crimson flames screeched sharply as it flew out of the swirling winds. With its appearance, the temperature in the store began to rise rapidly. Race name, double-headed flame crow. Attribute, fire. Growth stage, general. Body type, medium. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. This special individual with 2 heads has different consciousnesses. Grooming it might yield double the pleasure value. Taking a look at the system's rare serious evaluation, Su Ran's smile suddenly grew more intense. If you're saying that, then I'm going to get excited. Among the transcendent beings, those with multiple consciousnesses are relatively rare. Su Ran had heard of a few but had never groomed any before. Such an experience would be a first for him. Behind Su Ran, Du Kaiyan, who had remained silent, also looked surprised. He recognized the double-headed flame crow at the same time. However, unlike Su Ran, he was not completely unfamiliar with this double-headed flame crow. Because, as it happens, it had once been groomed at his establishment. Chapter 591-309, Du Kaiyan's Visit, a Rare Washing and Protection Subject. Chapter 591, Chapter 309, Du Kaiyan's Visit, a Rare Washing and Protection Subject /. This double-headed flame crow had certain differences from a normal one. Typically, although double-headed flame crows have 2 distinct consciousnesses, these consciousnesses are like twin brothers, very much in sync with each other, with a tacit understanding that rarely leads to internal strife or disagreements. But this particular double-headed flame crow often experienced conflicts between its 2 consciousnesses, lacking the camaraderie typically seen in others of its kind. Such anomalies could also affect washing and protection work. What one consciousness liked in terms of cleaning and caring might not be what the other preferred. And vice versa. Jian still remembered when it was he himself performing the washing and protection on the double-headed flame crow. Du Kaiyan had exerted an enormous amount of effort, and in the end, it was only with his sister's intervention that they successfully completed the task. Though this incident occurred a year ago, and at that time his skills were not as polished as they are now, Du Kaiyan still took this matter to heart. Glancing at Su Ran, who was about to take on the washing and protection work of this double-headed flame crow, Du Kaiyan hesitated for a moment, but ultimately couldn't help speaking up, that the 2 consciousnesses of this double-headed flame crow might have some conflicts. Su Ran looked at Du Kaiyan in surprise, then examined the double-headed flame crow more carefully. With Du Kaiyan's reminder, he quickly noticed that the 2 heads bathed in the firelight indeed seemed to have some hostile feelings towards each other. Sharing one body, yet not living in harmony. Su Ran's expression grew more peculiar. So Du Zioji is also here. Hearing Du Kaiyan's voice, the burly man realized that there was a 3rd person in the shop. The man was not upset upon Du Kaiyan pointing out his pet beast's issues but merely smiled. Since Du Zioji has already mentioned it, I won't keep it hidden. Indeed, my double-headed flame crow had a bit of an accident during its evolution, causing the two consciousnesses to lose their harmony and often enter into conflicts. Speaking of this, the burly man also seemed helplessly frustrated, often during washing and protection. When one consciousness feels comfortable, the other starts to act out. This has led to many incomplete washing and protection sessions, and I'm almost blacklisted by the caretakers. The big man spread his hands. I heard you're the new cleaning saint, so I decided to try my luck bringing them here. Understood, Suran gave Du Kaiyan a grateful look. If it had not been for Du Kaiyan's reminder, this customer might not have disclosed these details. With this knowledge, cleaning and caring for this double-headed flame crow would undoubtedly be more challenging. However, it sounded quite interesting. Sir, here's the thing, Suran slowly began. Du Kaiyan and I are engaged in an exchange on washing and protection. Would you mind if we use your pet beast as a case study for our exchange? Well, the burly man hesitated for a moment, then nodded, all right. His initial failure to honestly declare his pet beast's issues was his mistake after all. But the burly man was not trying to cause trouble for Suran. He was merely concerned that if he spoke up, Suran might refuse to attend to his pet beast. With a hint of apology in his heart, he naturally found it difficult to decline Suran's request. Plus, since Du Kaiyan had previous experience washing the double-headed flame crow, having him there might improve the outcomes for his own pet beast's washing and caring. Thank you for your generosity. Du Kaiyan's smile brightened as he nodded in acknowledgement to the man. Undoubtedly, this rare washing and protection case held extremely high value for exchange. Follow me. Suran signaled to the double-headed flame crow to follow him into the washing and protection room after they had agreed. Go. One of the heads of the double-headed flame crow showed excitement and anticipation, quickly leaning towards Suran as if eager to follow him into the washing and protection room. However, the other head turned towards the outside of the washing and protection room, appearing somewhat reluctant and seemingly indifferent to the washing and protection. Without the cooperation of its companion, the movements of the double-headed flame crow became noticeably stiff and unnatural. Seeing its companion unwilling to even cooperate with the washing and protection, the first head became instantly furious. It glared fiercely at the second head, emitting a series of sharp cries that sounded suspiciously like swearing. The second head, not one to be easily bullied, retaliated with equally sharp cries. Even before entering the washing and protection room, the two were already at odds again. Stop quarreling and go to the washing and protection room. Ultimately, it was the heavyset man's stern command that made the two heads of the double-headed flame crow cease their quarreling. The second head abandoned its stubbornness, and obediently, in cooperation with the first, flew toward the washing and protection room. Standing at the entrance of the washing and protection room, Suran watched this unfold, suddenly feeling uncertain about the washing and protection work ahead. This double pleasure value is going to be a tough earn. Speaking of which, the heavyset man spoke with a hint of helplessness. Often during the washing and protection, one consciousness feels comfortable while the other becomes restless. This results in frequently interrupted washing and protection sessions. I'm almost blacklisted by those caretakers. The heavyset man spread his hands. I brought them here to try my luck, hearing you're the new cleaning saint. Understood, Suran gave Du Kaiyan a grateful look. If Du Kaiyan hadn't given him a heads up, this customer might not have been forthcoming with this information. Therefore, performing washing and protection work on this double-headed flame crow, undoubtedly, will increase the difficulty substantially. However, it seems like it could be quite interesting. Sir, it's like this, Suran began slowly. Du Kaiyan and I are in the middle of a discussion about washing and protection techniques. Would you mind if your pet beast were to serve as a case study for our discussion? The heavyset man hesitated for a moment, then nodded, okay. Not being upfront about his pet beast's issues was primarily his fault after all. But the heavyset man didn't intend to make things difficult for Suran on purpose. He just worried that revealing the issues might lead to Suran refusing to perform the washing and protection on his pet beast. Carrying a trace of apology in his heart, he naturally found it hard to refuse Suran's request. Plus, Du Kaiyan had previously conducted washing and protection on the double-headed flame crow. With him present, the result of Suran's work might turn out even better. "Thank you for your generosity," Du Kaiyan said, his smile radiant as he nodded his thanks to the heavyset man. Undoubtedly, such a rare washing and protection case held immense value for academic discussion. "Follow me," Su Ran gestured to the double-headed flame crow, signaling for it to enter the washing and protection room. Screech! One of the heads of the double-headed flame crow showed an expression of excitement and anticipation, quickly reaching out in Su Ran's direction, as if eager to follow him into the washing and protection room. However, the other head seemed to twist away reluctantly toward the outside of the room at that moment, appearing unwilling and seemingly indifferent to the prospect of washing and protection. Without the cooperation of its companion, the movements of the double-headed flame crow became noticeably stiff and unnatural. Seeing its companion unwilling to even cooperate with the washing and protection, the first head became instantly furious. It glared fiercely at the second head, emitting a series of sharp cries that sounded suspiciously like swearing. The second head, not one to be easily bullied, retaliated with equally sharp cries. Even before entering the washing and protection room, the two were already at odds again. "Stop quarreling and go to the washing and protection room." Ultimately, it was the heavyset man's stern command that made the two heads of the double-headed flame crow cease their quarreling. The second head abandoned its stubbornness, and obediently, in cooperation with the first, flew toward the washing and protection room. Standing at the entrance of the washing and protection room, Su Ran watched this unfold, suddenly feeling uncertain about the washing and protection work ahead. This double pleasure value is going to be a tough earn.